time for one Big Mac with cheese, no onion, and pickles.
It's fucking Logan right now.
Yeah, it felt like it when I was like, yep. My soul like left my body. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna talk for the rest of this interview.
Peter with 214. Come on, Peter. Come on, Peter. Here we go.
Sorry.
Going down the stretch. And time. Time, baby. 220.
I like how Anthony pulled up cool jokes.
He said, where is it?
Anthony's like,
Thank you, Anthony.
Anthony's like the Mexican Siri. You just say something, he starts finding a location.
Hello and welcome to The Middle is Open. Abel Carrillo here along with Peter Carrillo,
Yes, sir.
Anthony Espeline.
What's up, guys?
And you know what? Pat's not here today. He has to pay for diapers. Pat's got a job on the weekend now. Good job for Pat. I mean, he's a father now, right?
Stepping up to the plate, man.
Peter, you're a father. Anthony, you're a father. How expensive are those diapers?
They're expensive. You know, baby showers and all, they help. You get a good foundation, but they fly by. Like by the time you know it, they're gone, and you're running down to Walmart to get more diapers.
It's crazy because, like, I know for Andrew's baby shower, it was actually our last get together before the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Andrew's baby shower, he had a lot of diapers. We have to ask him how long those diapers lasted. Maybe a week or two?
You know, the thing to do
Because
nowadays,
it was like a mountain of diapers, you would think,
the
right?
thing to do is guys are doing like diaper parties. So basically, they buy like a keg and then they have a diaper party.
Yeah.
And so, you know, talking about beer, we have like a beer legend, a local beer legend, I'm gonna call it. He's on his way, and what was that? Rain?
Was that rain or
It was
applause?
but it was a little quiet.
Sounded like rain. Abel, you want to introduce him or?
Yeah, so we have Dave Slocum in the studio, and he's from Sun Brewing here in Canutillo, Texas. And Dave, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Do you prefer Dave or David?
Either one, but most people call me David.
Okay.
Oh, David.
But you can call me Dave.
I've always called him Dave since like.
Dave.
Yeah.
But I think it was the people I was around. They just.
David feels proper, and Dave feels like
Hey, he's one of the buds. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to Dave's house.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a name you don't hear anymore, though. Isn't it weird? Like, there's certain names you just don't hear anymore. Like,
Now it's the names
Like-
have gotten outrageous.
yeah. Like Peter.
Like they're.
I don't hear Peter anymore.
I hear a lot of Peters.
Really? Like,
on movies. Every movie has a
yeah,
Peter.
but they're all like middle-aged men.
Well, I'm a middle-aged man.
No, exactly. And Anthony, I don't really hear it. Like, I hear it from in Wayne's World. Who's Anthony? Who's Anthony?
Yeah, our names are going extinct.
Yeah, and they're all biblical names, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we're
Yeah.
we're all over the place today. Like,
Yeah.
Instantly, we introduce David and we go on with names like. But yeah, so Dave's with us, David. And I'm happy to bring him on. I was so happy to get him on when I asked him. I asked you guys. I was like, man, he came out with a book. He's making his way up, and it was always beer that I liked.
Yeah.
And it's a friendly environment. So Dave, you want to give us kind of what's going on with you or with Sun Brewing overall?
Give us a proper introduction.
Okay, properly. What's going on is I'm going on my 7th year in business, and it's been a long, difficult road, and I know it's real difficult now for a lot of people, you know, with COVID and everything. But I've ordered brand new stainless steel equipment that I've been wanting for so long. It's taken me, it seems like an eternity to get there, but I got my brand new stainless steel equipment and a brand new canning line that'll put out about 100 cans a minute. And then, so I'm ecstatic. I can't even tell you how happy I am about that, because it'll just make my life so much easier. Everything's done by hand. So that's what I have going, and it's a 6-month project. So I'm closed to rebuild. I'm rebuilding everything, and then I'm just redoing everything, and the culture will be the same. It's still the same place and everything, but little refocus more to beer to go. 6-packs, 4-packs come in, kind of like,
Awesome.
So that's kind of.
Are you planning on distributing to certain places to sell, or it's exclusively at your place?
I'll distribute it. I mean, with that kind of volume, I'm sure I could put it into a lot of places, either in other cities or here locally. Whoever wants it can have it.
Awesome. When are you expecting to get all this going? You said about a 6-month project, but so you have a date in mind, or?
It's about a 4-month lead time for the canning line, and it'll be about 3 months for the brewing equipment.
Okay.
And then I would have to brew and kind of perfect things on a different system and learn it. And I think that would be about a good 6 months. So I'll have I'd say a re-grand opening and kind of redo things. And
are you gonna do the pig again?
It'll be something special, and I'm always into whole animals. I love the pig. That's my signature event is the whole roasted pig.
He's done the roasted pig. Anthony's Samoan, by the way. Look at him. Not really. He's not.
I was like, man, they do it right over there, man.
He'd be over here. Yeah.
All right. So, Dave, I want you to talk about, like, before everything that's going on right now. I want you to kind of like walk us through how you got into brewing beer, because I know you brew beer, you like to cook, you even have a cookbook. I mean, you have a story. I want you to kind of like walk us through that story of where it all began.
Okay. So I was always kind of a backyard cook. Just grilling out, hanging out with friends. Really late in the game in home brewing, I brewed beer kind of not so much to make great beer or to win any awards, but I brewed beer just to say, hey man, this is my beer, we can drink it.
Yeah.
And then through this long road, I get laid off the first time. So when I get laid off, it kind of threw me for a loop, and I began to reflect on a lot of things. And you pour your heart and soul into something. You're working 70 hours. You're traveling around. You're doing whatever it takes for that company. And I'm grateful that I work for HP and everything. It's just that I was thinking to myself, why don't I try to do something that I love to do, or take a shot at being my own boss and doing my own thing.
Yeah.
See how it goes. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, that's kind of how it came to be. But as I progressed, I got into it even more and more, and loved it even more and more. And the more you get into it, it just opens up a new world of possibilities, and you keep going into it, and and that's kind of, it almost consumes you so much, you're dreaming beers.
Yeah.
I got this great idea for a new beer, or I got this great idea for a food recipe, or stuff like that.
Well, it's your art.
Yeah,
like you're putting so much of your own personality into it.
Yeah.
And we were touching on this a little bit earlier, how you put so much of the culture of El Paso, or of yourself, Canutillo is huge to you. And you have a story on why you chose that location. So why Canutillo?
When I was scouting locations, well, first off, I've always been a West Sider. So, and I live on the West Side, and I lived right on the border of Canutillo and the far West Side. But it was Borderland Street, where I used to live.
Yeah, my mom lives there.
Yeah.
So I was looking at different places, and I wanted a place that was close. So if I need to like crawl myself there, or whatever, I can get there.
Yeah.
And I was looking at different places on the West Side. I even looked at places in Central, downtown, and didn't really consider the East Side too much, a little too far. But of all the places, I found a place where I'm at now, and I was thinking to myself, man, right on the Rio Grande, right on the railroad tracks, right in the center of the Tri-City area. I mean, it's as close to Las Cruces and as it is to the far west side.
Yeah.
I mean, to the far east side rather. And it's like it's right there in the center, and then you have all these little small towns like La Union or La Mesa or.
Chambarino.
And if you're a biker, which I love my motorcycle, you just see a lot of people either going to the wine festivals, or they want to take their bikes for a cruise, you know, to go to some of these historic places like Chopis.
Yeah.
Hit Old Mesilla and Las Cruces. So I was like, man. And I write about this in the book in depth. And and what I write about is that Canutillo, what Canutillo is to El Paso is what Old Mesilla is to Las Cruces. It's just that I thought it would take several years to kind of change the mindset to where people would value Canutillo more, because in my view, it just really gets overlooked for the true value that it has to the city.
Yeah.
You know what? You say that, and I the first time I met you, you told me this.
Yeah.
You told me all about Canutillo, and at the time I was kind of like, I cringed at the thought. Like, it's a mindset. Like you said, I'm like, well, why Canutillo? And then you kind of sold me on it. Now, fast forward to where we're at now, Canutillo is making a name for themselves, opposed to being still incorporated by El Paso. It's Canutillo. It's building its own identity.
Well, I was gonna say that. So I kind of see where David was talking about Canutillo and how you're talking about it as well. When I was growing up, because we're all West Siders here.
Yeah.
We went to Zach White Elementary. It could be considered like the rich school here in El Paso, in the West Side, right? For elementary, I went to Lincoln Middle School, and then I ended up going to Franklin. And Canutillo's always had this stigma attached to it. It's always been recognized as Canuto. Yeah, like almost not laughed at, but like you said, it's kind of overlooked, you know?
Disrespected.
Yeah, you can say from some people there's a little disrespect. There's some kind of stigma attached to it. I don't know exactly, but there's something attached to it.
But the funny thing is, the community is so tight. Like, everybody knows everybody in the community.
So, but now as I've gotten older, I'm in my early 30s now. I've seen how much El Paso has grown, but how much Canutillo has grown by itself, you know?
Yeah.
Now it's got one school in its school district. I'm talking about high school, and it's a powerhouse high school here in El Paso, not just the west side of El Paso, but in El Paso, it's a powerhouse. I mean, if you think about of all the, I'm talking athletics now, Canutillo has gone further than any El Paso school in football. They went to the Final Four. So this is a school in the early 90s. Well, when I was growing up, it was kind of being laughed at. Now it kind of holds that pride. Like, dude, you go watch a football game in Canutillo now, it's like, we went to the Final Four. What other school in El Paso can say that, you know? And then you go just to different places, different landmarks in Canutillo, and they have a lot of pride in the food that they have, you know, the places that they have. They take a lot of pride. They have a lot of passion. And I guess
Lupitas.
Lupitas. I mean,
Yes.
that's another. You have a little diner.
Little diner. Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of places in Canutillo that are now, you know, it's getting its name recognition that it deserves now. You know, I know I kind of went all over the place, but I mean, it's a small community and it's starting to rise up.
Well, that's one thing I like about your book. You came out with this book, and it's a lot of
Show it to the
recipes.
camera.
Yeah, where's the camera? See, and where can you pick up this book? Like
Walmart, Barnes and Nobles. It's internationally sold. You can get it at Amazon. Pretty much anywhere that sells.
Nice.
No, it's awesome. Like I was really happy when you came out with a book, because one thing you do with your beer is you're always talking. You used to do your Facebook lives, and you would pair a meal that you made yourself with a beer you brewed. and you'd say you'd kind of give a lesson like, okay, this complements this, and it was awesome to see that the variety. So when you came out with a book, or I heard you were coming out with a book, I was like, man, he's putting it down like for people to see, to share with people. What else can you find in a book? I saw recipes, but there's also obviously a story.
Yeah. I kind of interweave my personal story and why. So there's a lot of stories. So why this beer, or why did I start brewing, or why Sun Brewing, or why Canotillo. So I put stories from my life that led toward this, or things that shaped me when I was young to kind of build towards something.
Yeah.
Like being an entrepreneur. I'm sorry, I'm drinking beer. So
No worries.
That's all we do on this show. Is drink beers.
Peter burps directly into the
I was saying he was all passionate. He was like, I'm cracking up here.
He's all getting emotional. It's like, no. I don't wear my heart on my sleeve. I got the burps right now.
yeah, so that's basically it. I got those stories that are kind of relevant to the overall story on why, and it's the goal was to, one of the main goals is just to inspire people to look. I feel like some people think their dreams are unattainable, and I'm like telling you, like, if you read the story, my story's proof that it's not. And it's not so much success is defined by like monetary values or things. I mean, there's a lot of other successes besides that.
Well, you're doing what you like you said. You went out on a limb. You invested a lot of time, money of your own. You sacrificed, obviously, but it's for something that you're happy doing, and not many people could say that about their careers or anything like that. And the fact that you came out with a book, you're brewing the beer you like to brew, you're making the food you like to eat. It's like, damn, man. And you're so laid back about it too.
That's like every man's dream.
Yeah.
It's like beer and food. Like what else can you ask for, right?
Living the dream.
And then you're, like you said, you're right off the river, man. So like in the summer, you got this nice river. I mean, beautiful sunsets.
You go in the tube and just sit out there with your beer.
Just yesterday, I took a picture of the clouds just because they look so pretty. Like the sunsets here in the borderland are amazing, and you're set up in like a perfect position, man.
I think so.
You know what's funny is way back when, I don't know if you remember when I was working at the Prospector for UTEP.
I do remember that.
I had reached out to you and we were talking about, setting you up maybe. And he sent me some pictures. I'm like, send me some pictures maybe I could work with. And he sent me one with a cup. It was like a plastic cup though.
Yeah.
But it was his beer inside. But it was off the river and you saw the sunset kind of. And I have that picture. Actually, I'll send it to you. And I was like, yeah. And then it said what beer it was. I forgot which one it was, or I think it said Sun Brewing. We labeled it and everything. It looked badass though, and I was like, that one image kind of just showed so much, because it's not like, not saying your beer's not fancy, because you have awards to back it up on some of your beers, but it was just like that mentality, like this is a good beer off the river during a sunset, just and knowing who you are, or having interactions with you, it kind of like encompassed all that. It was like, damn, man, this is him. This is like his picture. That should be your profile. But it was awesome. Like, I gotta find that picture for you though,
thank you.
and send it. But it was just a fun thing, and what's unique about your place, it was all word of mouth. Like, a lot of people would, before I even had met you, I was hearing from Crazy Ray, from Danny, Anthony's uncle. People would say, hey man, you gotta try this beer, Alien Piss. Alien Piss? What the hell? I don't want to drink Alien Piss. Like, what the hell's Alien Piss? And we would show up. One time we had a game in La Mesa, we were talking about this, and we show up to your place, and I think we brought like 30 people for reals, and we were trying to just like bombard him, and he was like, oh shit. Like, he's trying to brew, he's by himself, he's a man who's doing his passion, but it's just you basically, right?
So when you saw Peter show up with 30 of his friends, what was your first thought? Like, was it like, oh shit, or were you happy or were you kind of upset? Like, because you seem like a guy that's very passionate and you take a lot of pride in your work, because you're not just serving, you're actually like
Giving a piece of yourself.
yeah, you're presenting a piece of yourself. You know, this is what I'm about. This is my art. So it's not oh, look at all the customers I have. It's more like, no, like it's more quality. And I mean, maybe I'm overdoing it here, but what was your first thought when you saw Peter with like all these guys? Was it like, ah, crap, like hopefully I can serve these guys?
I remember that distinctively. I remember thinking to myself, I took a chance. I was like, am I going to brew today or am I going to brew tomorrow? And then normally I try to brew as quick as I can. And that happened to be the day where I was brewing and I had so much going on and it was just me there. And then I seen all those people and I was like, oh no. That was my first reaction. But then I seen who was behind it. I was like, it's Crazy Ray.
It's Crazy Ray.
And so I seen Crazy Ray, and he's always colorful. And then from there, work something out a little bit later.
Yeah. Now, earlier before we started the show, you were talking a little bit about earlier in your life how you had joined the Marines, and I think I read on your bio that you joined the Marines right after 9/11.
Yeah.
And then you were talking about some of the stuff, traveling, all the travel, going to the Middle East, and you were talking about how there were some similarities in terms of the Middle Eastern culture as well as Mexico. You saw some things that kind of reminded you of back home. Can you talk about that stuff and how it influenced your food as well as your beer?
Yeah. So when I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, I would tell my friends, and they honestly thought I was nuts. They're like, "No, I'm not another one," but I was being serious. I was telling them that when I was in Fallujah, just the dense population and just how the look and the feel and the streets. The street curbs, the narrow streets, especially the architecture, the dome type of settings, the dome buildings for homes or for mosque, and just the Arab architecture. I really looked and felt like Mexico. And since I've been going since I was very young to Mexico and throughout Mexico, I was convinced there was a connection. I just didn't know at that point in time like what exactly it was.
Did they have the Derby in Fallujah?
The Derby?
Tequila derbies.
No, they didn't have tequila derby.
$10 drink and drown.
So I did a little research, and there is a connection. Because of all the wars that Spain did with Arabs, the culture's kind of infused a little bit. So then there's that wavy historical line from what would be the conquistadors, the Spanish and their colonization of the Americas. So because of the Spanish influence, which is huge on all the Americas, in the architecture, just pretty much everything, and the cuisine. So when you look at Mexican cuisine, there's things that are Spanish and there's things that are Spanish that are Middle Eastern influence. Like we all know the famous al pastor tacos, right?
Yes.
Lebanese, most likely immigrants. And then take, for example, chamoy sauce. Chamoy is from China, and that it became uniquely Mexican over time with Chinese immigrants in one fashion or the other. And then even like tepache, which is like my all-time favorite drink forever, all times. So tepache is pre-Columbian from the indigenous people, made as a corn-based fermented drink that over time became uniquely Mexican to pineapple skins with, cloves, piloncillo, and fermented. So there's these things that are also interrelated and infused to make this one of the greatest cuisines that the world knows is, Mexican cuisine. It's one of the top 3-4 cuisines in the world. So, so in the Middle East, I seen the relationship, like I seen tortillas, and I'm telling people those are tortillas, and they brush it off, and then I tell them that looks like Spanish rice, and I'm like, that is a quesadilla. I mean, I seen a big quesadilla in Afghanistan, and I'm like, that is a quesadilla, man. And then I was like, are you talking about Mexico again? And I'm like, I'm telling you.
And would they tell you, like, and you're white? Like,
Yeah.
would they be like, you're white, you're talking all this Mexican nonsense?
Yeah, that's what I would get, and I mean, and I would get that quite a bit. You know what I mean?
And that's kind of the beauty of El Paso, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
there's so many different cultures here in this city.
But the Mexican Hispanic culture,
Yeah.
kind of like if you saw Dave out, say we were traveling, we were in like New Jersey, and they're like, you start speaking Spanish, or you're like, I could make tamales, I could do this, and you start talking all this stuff, and it's like, what the hell does this guy know? But it's like it's the culture's infused in you.
Yeah. And then also living in Mexico, that had a profound influence on me, because I lived there from 2007 to 2008.
Oh wow.
And in Juarez, Mexico, and really that's where I found tepache. It was in the parks in Juarez. That's when I first drank it. And then machitos, street food.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where it really evolved to a whole new level for me. And then just little other things too. And then I write in the book, and I write this line, and I say, I know what it's like to be Mexican at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I literally crossed the bridge every day, man, to go to work.
Yeah.
Because when I got out the Marines, I didn't know where to go. And one of my lifelong friends, we went to Moorhead Middle School together. He's like, man, come back to El Paso. I'll help you get on your feet. So that's what I did. I came back and I moved to Mexico with him and his family. And I got a minimum wage job, and I was crossing the bridge every day, man, in line. And so that's why I wrote that. I was like, believe it or not, there was people who did not believe me, because I had to tell my boss when I worked in a call center, I was like, you're never going to believe me. I have to cross the bridge every day. So
You used that excuse last week.
he's like, I was like, I might be a little late sometimes, because it can fluctuate on the lines,
Yeah.
And then they wanted to verify, so they had people out there like, is he coming out? Is that
I've heard some whoppers in my day, but I'm not.
A white guy living in Mexico. Okay.
Yeah, so that's true, man.
That's so cool. I was looking at some of the names. One of the things about your beers are the names of your beers, like,
Yeah.
and they could be like I was saying, Alien Piss earlier. That one always cracked me up, because it was like, oh, you gotta try the Alien Piss. I was what the hell is Alien Piss?
It's actually Miados de Alien, but
Yes,
it's
alien piss to the locals, to Crazy Ray, to Crazy Ray. You had Intercourse Ale.
Yeah. Yeah. If you look up that definition, it doesn't have to be sex.
Yeah, but of course everybody's
It can be community but like gatherings.
You have Anal Ale. No, I'm just I'm kidding. Anal. You don't have that.
That's hard to misconstrue.
And then you have like the Tamale Top Ale, like. Going back to what you were saying, all the flavors, the culture that's behind the cuisine, and you're incorporating it into your beer is awesome, I think. But then you don't just stick with that. You go on to a Treyu Belgian Pale Ale, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna mess up some of these names.
Yeah, a tree.
And then you got the Canoteo malt liquor, like, oh, of course, Canoteo malt liquor. Like,
I want to stop you there, Peter, because earlier, before we started the show, you were talking about how you're making some of these malt liquors, and there's some people that are in the brewing business, and they kind of
frowned upon.
No, not frowned upon, but maybe shy away from making the malt liquors. But you have chosen to, go that route for some of your beers.
Yeah, the way I look at it is, if a beer's good, then it's good. And a lot of people will look at it, especially a snob, and they'll look at a beer and they'll look at it and they're like, I won't even try it. That's not who I am. And I think a lot of it's branding.
Yeah.
You know, so they'll see a big 40 and they're like, you know, come on, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
40. What are you going to wear? A flannel shirt next? You know,
Hey, that's Peter.
This is the first time I dressed up, I swear. It was a special occasion. Now you're knocking my shirt.
Shots fired, man. We've never seen Peter dress before, and then
No.
like, damn.
That's the last time he comes to the
I had to
channel
wear
show.
shorts though because
not everyone could wear an Ezekiel Elliott jersey over here.
I like that shirt, by the way.
yeah, thank you.
actually
I
right
mean,
now that's more embarrassing. I think, The way he's been playing.
The way he's playing, I would just say that's a Deion Sanders jersey rather than a Zeke jersey.
Yeah.
But no, man. Going back to the names.
He was talking about. He was still talking
yeah,
about the snobbiness of
but
beers.
I'm a snob. I'm a beer snob.
So the malt liquor you were talking about,
Right. So the beer itself is good. And me personally, you know, you can find hypocrisies everywhere. Like that small little fusel alcohol burn when you ingest it. That's not inferior to a beer. You know, there's endless examples. So you can make a malt liquor to be good, or you can make it bad, just like you could any beer, any style, a stout, a pale ale, or whatever, an IPA. So I believed in that style, just like I believe in ice beers, also known as freeze concentrated. So ice ales, ice lagers, they have value and they're really good. It's just, I think most of it's branding, and a lot of people like things for the wrong reasons. They like it for a status, or they want to talk to you in a condescending way to make them feel superior. And what I'm saying is the beer's good, and you know you're gonna have all these types of people, and I mention that because their status or their snob ways is what predominates them most. When I know I want to say a fact that a malt liquor can be good, an ice ale can be good, and a lot of things can be good, and it's just kind of the perception of the thing. So I stuck with it since, you know, I was first in business, and I believe in those beers. And I mean, a lot of things that are laughed at come full circle because it becomes trendy. We're in a business that is like, oh, what's the latest trend?
Yeah.
Seltzers.
We got to do that. man.
Yeah, seltzers. Like you would have been laughed out of.
Everybody's making.
And now
seltzers.
everybody makes it. Even Coors and everybody.
is Sun Brewing coming out with a seltzer anytime soon?
No, I don't.
Snob.
He's like, I won't go that low.
If I liked them, I would, but
Yeah.
I just
So
seltzers.
Are you self-taught? Like as far as brewing, like did you just learn as you went? Is there somebody
Yeah.
that kind of taught you, or?
I had no mentors. Nobody taught me, but and that's the thing of it too, is that if you read books and you want to fine tune your recipes and your skill set, I mean, you can do it. It just takes the time and the want to.
Dedication.
So initially, like there were norms, obviously, and it just kind of seemed like you got into it at a time where you were doing your own, like you were just using your own creativity. Are there people they're kind of following along that way? Like what are some other brewers that you know? Because obviously it's a community. What are there other brewers that you look to, or you've reached out to, or kind of collaborate with, or it's just all you?
I haven't collaborated or looked to anybody.
Really?
But I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I would. It's just I was too focused on my next idea and how am I going to bring that to life.
Yeah.
But I mean, if anybody ever wants any information, I give it freely. Like he points, and everything I learned from brewing is in that book.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, anybody that reads that, they'll see where I went wrong, and how I create recipes to things that'll help them that I didn't know at first. That it's kind of an evolution. So pretty much all the things that I learned that will help somebody be successful, I put in there so that they can do it. And I would give that information freely to anybody that wants it.
I was gonna ask you, what is the perception of Sun Brewing, or do you even care? What is the perception of Sun Brewing compared to some of these other places here in El Paso, or even in other cities? Because you were talking about Like there's kind of a status. Like, I mean, we've all seen it with some of the, you know, the breweries around
that
town
have popped up around town.
that have popped up around town. You got to wear, you know, the flannel shirt with the mustache. You got to wear a fedora or whatever the fuck, like hipster. I mean, and a lot of those places can be
They're fun sometimes,
I mean,
but-
they are fun. I mean, they could be fun, but they could also be intimidating. You know,
off-putting.
exactly. Like if you talk about beer, and there might be something that I don't get, I don't understand. I didn't like ice beers. I kind of looked up, like you were talking about ice beers, and I was like, is that like Bud Ice? And then like right now I look to the right, and I'm like, maybe it is.
Natty Ice.
Yeah,
Googled
and
it for you.
then I was like, okay, but I'm sure if I asked you what's an ice beer, you would tell me, and then you would like kind of explain to me. Like, you don't seem like a guy that's like, oh my god, you don't know what a malt liquor is, you don't know what ice beer is, or you know, if you don't know what a stout is. Like, if I was to ask you, you seem like a guy that would, you know, kind of just talk to me and have a friendly attitude toward the questions people have. Do you think that's with some of these other breweries, is that what kind of sets you apart from them?
Honestly, I'm not really sure, but I do know that in the industry, there is a portion of pretentiousness, and I think that part of the industry, whether you're a professional or not, is just no good. But for you or anybody or just anybody at all, with every person, doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter anything about your background, whether you're laid back, whether you're a construction worker, or you're a doctor, or you're a biker, or whatever it is that you are, there's an opportunity to bring somebody towards your product, your beer, to help them understand what it is, or to bring them in.
Yeah.
So bringing them in, you know, if they've never had an IPA, or they've never had an ice beer, or a tropical stout, or just any of these beers, there's an opportunity there. Maybe they won't like it, maybe they will, but you could have a conversation that brings them in toward the craft beer umbrella, to where maybe you could bring somebody in, because craft beer, I mean, what is it really? I mean, you're making beer regardless, and all people like beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just bringing somebody into your domain, to your umbrella, to either give them something new for their palate, to bring them into to like craft beer, to where it's not us versus them, or anything like that. It's like it's for everybody.
Yeah.
No matter where you are.
Yeah, because there's times like when I've walked into a bar, and I mean, I'm pretty simple. I'm a guy that likes Bud Light, man. Like, there's nothing like a cold Bud Light. Like, I
Bud
go
Light
in.
stickers everywhere.
Yeah, like-
Sometimes
as you can
I'm
Yeah.
a price guy. Like, I Tecate with a lime.
Yeah.
$1 beers today.
Yeah. I mean, there's
I'm cool with that.
like, to me, there's nothing like walking in, you get your nice cold Bud Light, you have a few, and then that's it. And then there's also times when you're like, you know what? I want a Guinness. I want something nice.
I want something that's gonna put hair on my ass.
Yeah, like a nice heavy beer. And then there's other times when I want to experiment and, like, you know, grab some of these other stouts and these IPAs and things of that nature.
I remember hearing about this beer one time, and I went over. It was a dark one. I cannot remember the name. Super dark beer you had. And you said nobody's ever drank 3 of these. And I think it was when we were there recording.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And you said, this is the first time I've seen someone drink 4 of these and still be functioning.
Yeah, well, you weren't functioning.
Well,
you were just
I was standing.
you were just on your feet. But let's not go over
there.
I don't know if you recall that day, but we were there recording, and I can't recall the beer. It was.
But it's funny
I
because
can't recall the day, really.
I think that was Sun Archangelisk Russian Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
geez.
that sounds good.
Wow, that's like a full sentence right
Yeah,
there.
that sounds good.
Yeah, that was good though. That was good beer.
I think I saw Peter's soul just leave him, and then it was just like, I'm gonna head out for a
And
little bit.
outer body
Yeah,
experience. but it was good, and that was a fun time, man.
How do you come up with some of these beer names? Is it just based on the ingredients, or is it just something you're thinking of, or feeling, or?
There's a connection. Like I wanted to name a beer Archangel because some other beer that was a Russian Imperial Stout had something similar, kind of spiritual, like, right? So being Russian Imperial Stout, I looked up a place in Russia called Archangelisk, which it means archangel in Russian. So I just put the word in front of its son, Archangelisk, Russian Imperial Stout.
See, that's...
And like I made a beer with chili peppers in it, which I've done a few times, but
kind of worried to ask about the intercourse ale. Like, what was going on during intercourse ale?
Mexican chocolate. Mexican chocolate. I was like, this is an aphrodisiac.
There you go. Yeah.
Spanish fly ale.
Makes sense. But I think that's kind of the fun of it, right? Is like naming the beer. You know, it's kind of like,
yeah,
you know,
it's a lot of fun naming the beer. Like my next beer is called El Guapo Neo Mexi Hapo.
Oh, that's for Pat right
Well,
there.
El Guapo is your nickname, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So
You got two.
Yeah.
So Neo Mexicanus is a local hop from New Mexico. That's North American hop. So I took the name of that hop strain, Neo Mexicanus, and just put something that rhymes with El Guapo. So Neo Mexi Hapo IPA.
I like that.
Nice.
Awesome, man. I like that.
Now, is there when you go to Sun Brewing, is there certain dishes that you like to match up with the beer that you're serving for that day?
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
So if I'm making, say, a Russian Imperial Stout, a good pairing with that would be say something like maybe a German chocolate cake or a cinnamon roll or something sweet.
You let me know when you're out of that one. I'll be over.
That sounds great.
Or it would go great with like a tomahawk steak.
Oh,
nice
damn.
seared.
Steak.
I mean, I don't know.
Dude, this
about-
guy makes badass food for reals.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm asking that because one of your beers, I saw it on KVIA. I think it was a reporter. He said, "It's a beer that tastes like pizza," and I was like, "Holy shit, man! That sounds delicious." Because I like beer and I like pizza,
yeah.
and I'm like,
All you need is the wings. Like, you just
like-
start eating wings with it.
I
Dipping
just
your wings in the beer?
just like freaking be drinking the beer and then take a swig of ranch dressing or something. I don't know, man. But that sounded really good. I was like, hell yeah. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm just curious to know like how often your menu changes. Your food menu as well as your beer menu, and does it go with the different seasons of the year?
It does, and it's almost every week it changes.
Oh wow.
And then some things are definitely seasonal, like my Frankenstein ale.
That's a good one, too.
That's
Is that like Halloween, fall?
yeah.
Okay.
It's one of my Halloween beers, but it's made from a local vineyards. It was originally made with Syrah grape must, so that's a total seasonal beer dependent on the vineyard.
Yeah.
And there's other things like
You drinking, you start walking like this.
I'm not kidding you, man. When I first come out with that beer, people would
You just grunt and all.
they ordered a beer not with their voice. They ordered it like this, and then I would come bring them one, and then they do this again, and then I come bring them.
You want to know?
That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, man. It's like little signals he's giving.
Yeah, you're ordering a drink like from across the room. That's
It's
awesome.
like, Dave.
Yeah,
I
that's
got you.
exactly it.
So I know you got a few award-winning beers. What are some of those beers?
The first one was Tepache Tamarindo Ale,
Sounds good.
indigenous
That sounds
ale.
good right now.
Oh, I think I've had that one, the Tamarino, right?
I've made
Yeah.
a Tamarindo and a Tepache and
Okay.
a Tepache Tamarindo.
Oh, dang. I think I've had one of those. I mean,
I don't know, when we went, we had a couple. Well, I was already gone.
A couple?
We had a couple. But that was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Like last time we were there.
All right, I want to hear all these award beers
Okay, the award
because
beers.
Okay. The second one was
What did it win though? What was the?
okay, Tepache Tamarindo won gold in the Denver International.
Okay.
And then Saison de Membrillo won a silver in the New York City International.
Wow.
Man.
Membrillos.
And then I had a 100% spontaneous ale number 3. And that beer won a bronze. And that's 100% spontaneous. And there's only like a handful of breweries in the whole world that does a beer like that. It's a complicated beer that ferments over a year.
Shit.
And that's
Why do they call
minimum.
it spontaneous?
Because you don't know what the hell's going to happen in a year.
Because it's spontaneously fermented from the microbes from the air, the wild yeast and bacteria from the air. So it spontaneously ferments. So that would be the style of the beer. And that does that over a year minimum. And then normally they're aged for several years. So that is one beer that's like a fine wine. It just gets better with age.
Wow.
That's one of the beers. Not all beers are like that. Some beers go bad quick, like an IPA. IPAs, they got a shelf life and it's quick. So that one was one I was extremely happy with.
Peter's over there. I better drink this quick, man.
This one, no.
Yeah. So that was my 4th.
Yeah.
My 5th was an ice ale. I named it after a Muppet. Beauregard Ice Dark Lager.
Beauregard. Wow, that's pretty nice.
So it's an ice, but it's a true ice beer.
Which Muppet is that?
Beauregard?
Beauregard. I don't know who Beauregard is. Who's Beauregard?
He's like the construction worker, kind of the worker in the background with the mop.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
He has orange hair, right? Does he? I don't know. I only saw.
There he is, right there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dude.
That's Beauregard. He's kind of the guy that not too visible, but he's doing a lot of work in
But
the
he's
background.
there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I only saw Muppet Babies.
He wasn't on the Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Muppet?
Well, I like Fozzie Bear.
Fozzie? Yeah.
Is it Fozzie or Fonzie?
Fozzie.
Fozzie.
How do you like him? You don't know his
No,
name.
well,
It's been a while.
shut up, man. I
like-
it's been 25 years.
I like
since
the
saw
dog.
Muppet Babies. The dog?
Ralph?
Is it Rolf?
Ralph? See, I don't know his name either.
Oh, but you like him,
But I
right?
like him. Pulling an Abel here.
Yeah.
Anyways, going back to the beers here. See, we get sidetracked easily.
Yeah.
That's-
I like the one with the drums.
Animal.
Animal.
Oh, there you go.
See, we all like them, but we don't know their names.
I like that one.
I like that green guy.
I think he's a frog.
You know, the pig's always chasing
He bangs
him.
a pig. Shoot.
Hey, I smell like bacon.
That's crazy, man. So we have our own beers today. We're going hard, early,
Yeah.
hard.
What are some of the beers that you enjoy that you don't make?
Oh, that's a good question. I like all beers, so this would be a good. Let's see.
You see the Dos Equis keg back there?
Yeah.
I like Dos Equis,
Yeah, Dos Equis is really good.
especially amber.
You
Oh, the
like
amber?
You like Mickey's?
Mickey's, yeah, Mickey's.
He-
That's
why
my favorite malt
I
liquor.
figured he was a Mickey's guy.
See, that's what I like about him is because, like I said, there's like a snootiness to people that
I only
that
drink
make
my own beer.
that make beers. But Dave's over here like, I like Dos Equis. I also like
You go to a beer depot in Canotillo and just drive up and then get your beer.
Yeah.
I always thought that was awesome. I have distinct memories of my dad.
Oh,
When
yeah.
we would play.
we would get out of basketball. practice.
We had first basketball practice. My dad would swing by. It's a Speedways now, but it used to be
It
just
was
a gas
like,
station.
wasn't
I
it
can't-
like the S-Mart thingy or
Yeah.
whatever it was?
No, but my dad would pull up and he would go get us Gatorade, Abel and I, and what other kids we had in the car because my dad was a coach, and my dad would get his
beer in a brown bag.
and he'd be driving. I didn't know, and this isn't do not drink and drive, but my dad, I didn't know it was illegal until I was older because my dad always had his beer, but he only had two, so
Yeah.
he would get one like when we would go, and then we'd stop again and get another, and go home because my dad would get off of work. He worked in the steel mill right there at Border Steel,
Yeah.
in Canotillo or
Oh, in
Vinton. And my dad would get off of work fucking 16 hours or whatever it was, and then take us to practice. He was our coach. And so he would buy Gatorades for all the kids and then buy his Bush.
Yeah.
My dad likes Bush.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would drink his beer. Well, going to practice, come back, have his beer.
And then he would even take us to go fishing sometimes.
Yeah, fishing.
Sometimes we would
And
go. We would go to the Rio. Sometimes we would just fish
On the river.
in the ditch or whatever, you know. And my dad, once again, with his beer and a brown bag. And I think that's what's cool about.
Well, you didn't say the best part.
What?
Dad taught us how to fish with a
beer can.
fishing. Yeah, with a beer can.
That's
a
how-
Bud Light beer can.
We never owned a fishing rod.
I wouldn't say never, but
Well,
my dad taught us how to fish.
We
with a beer
never.
can.
Okay, when we did own a fishing rod, we weren't very good at fishing with a rod
Yeah, so you put the fishing string
on the tab.
on the tap, and then you roll it around the can.
Uh-huh.
And then you have a weight and a hook and a piece of corn. And when you throw it,
When you
you
cast
turn the
it,
can and it
you
goes
just let it
like
unwind,
that.
kind of like
and you
if
grab
you're
the beer
keeping
can
a
again.
house.
And when you catch a fish or you feel a tug,
just
you
wrap
start
it
rolling
around.
the beer can.
Ah, okay, that
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
You just start wrapping it around like.
Yeah, dude. And we would catch fish
All right.
with a beer can. And
right.
people like
They were so amazed.
my cousin, he came with us and he had like this badass rod and whatever. And we were fishing with beer cans.
And you
And
caught him.
he caught himself with a fucking badass rod. He hooked his leg with the hook. And we were using cans like, well, stupid. We have our beer cans and
I'm gonna use that for marketing.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
dude.
no, yeah, perfect.
Beer
Come get your 4-pack of cans right here, and then
There
you
you
get
go.
a fishing
You heard
line
it
to go
here
with
first.
that.
There you
I
go.
like it. I like it.
I mean, shit, man, you're right off the river. I mean, what better marketing
that
is
would
that?
be a good picture. Like one of your beer.
It's like,
In a brown paper bag.
yeah, like, hey, Dave, what are you doing? And it's
Well, you
like,
got your new
"Oh,
canning line, right? Like your
Yeah.
Yeah,
So your own
exactly.
canned beers, you could be fishing on the river, drinking one, and using it as a reel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. Like,
And I'll sell it in a brown paper bag.
oh, yeah,
Go.
Damn.
see, collaborating. You just collaborated with
yeah,
us.
yeah. You're welcome.
Hey, if you had to make a beer for us, if you had to name a beer of the podcast or of our story, because we were telling we all grew up in this neighborhood, what would you call it? Since you got like the mastermind.
Oh, for this neighborhood or for this podcast?
for us, like,
just the podcast?
Well, for us, like, because we're all friends, we're childhood friends from the same neighborhood. Come back to the neighborhood, and we're still here. Like we're doing our thing, having fun with it. Anything off the top of your head, or you gotta think about
Oh,
it?
the first thing would be the Middles Open Ale.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, simple, nice and
An
simple.
ale. I like that.
What about driving through like this neighborhood, just looking around? I mean, I'm sure you weren't like sightseeing or anything, but you kind of saw the neighborhood, how it looks. Is there anything that kind of jumped out to you that could maybe potentially influence the
Lock
name?
my doors.
Lock my doors.
door lock able or ale.
Caged windows.
Yeah. This is a humble neighborhood, but it seems how you could have some really good friendships. It wouldn't be like some of these other neighborhoods, like on the mountain or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where everyone's kind of to themselves and they don't
Well, this is an old-
experience the neighbors. And
This is an old neighborhood. Like pretty much everybody that lives in this neighborhood is related to somebody in the neighborhood or have lived here their whole life. Like
I think Anthony's actually like our fifth cousin or something.
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Like he really is.
My dad and your dad are
Are, like,
cousins.
second or third
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah. Something like
Nice.
that.
I don't know where the Hawaiian gene came. But somewhere else.
Skip the G.
But it's crazy because that's like how El Paso is in general.
Yeah.
Like you go anywhere in El Paso.
Yeah,
it's
Dave's our
like-
cousin, man.
Yeah.
Primo.
He's our white cousin that was
That speaks more Spanish
He's
than
more
us.
I was gonna say he's probably more Mexican than us. Shit.
that lived in Mexico.
That's what I'm saying.
that crosses the border every day to go to
This
work.
is my cousin Dave. He lives in Juarez. But that's awesome, man. Like fun times. Actually, so I think I told you Ray was gonna come.
Yeah.
You know Ray Arreola,
Yeah.
Ray Monroe. People know him. He's a DJ here in El Paso, and he's actually gonna come in here in a bit. Actually, he said like 15 minutes ago.
So at Sun Brewing, what is pumping through your speakers? I mean, if you have speakers outside, what kind of music are you playing there? What's the vibe like?
During the week, it's KLAQ, and Sundays is oldies.
Nice.
Mike G on the jukebox.
Nice.
That's like
That's typical.
Every day for me.
Yeah, that's typical. Like,
Sundays.
Yeah, Sundays are. We talked about this on another show with Super Mario. We had Super Mario on, and we were saying how Uncle Mike. Remember? We were saying,
yeah.
And just that relationship that El Paso has with music. I know, like, Dave would be brewing sometimes. I'd be on air on Sundays, and Saturdays I was the weekend DJ.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh man, I'm listening to you." And then for me, it was always like, "Shit, I got people listening to me like around the city." It was
Oh my
always
god!
fun.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You were good, dude.
Yeah.
You had that genuine kind of hometown feel to your DJ.
I always tried to just sometimes they tell you like just get to the music and whatever, and I'd be like, "Hey, give me a call, whatever." Hey, we're not a request show. Yeah, but I'm just, hey, give me a call. Like, let me know what's up in El Paso. And then sometimes I'd put on the songs depending on if it played or
what was in the
whatever.
vault
Yeah,
or
like
whatever.
I had to pull it up. But even then, I try to give shout outs to people. It was fun.
You did to me.
One of the best jobs I've ever had. It was a shame that obviously COVID happened and everybody was cutting back everywhere. And I was already limited. I was like once a week. I had my other job
Overnight.
but it was a job that introduced me to so many people. I worked with great people.
Yeah.
And Ray's still there. Like I said, and what's funny is Ray grew up in this neighborhood. He grew up down the street.
We both went to Coronado.
Yeah. So Monica too. Monica Acevedos.
I was asking you
from Kiss. She's on Kiss.
Actually, I'm not sure.
She went to Coronado too, though.
It's
But
been
she's
so long.
raised like.
What's her name?
Peter. He doesn't listen to Kiss. It's KLAQ.
Well, but she works for their sister stations.
Now, is there a reason
name?
why you keep it on local radio rather than playing like
Monica
your
Acevedos.
Pandora or Spotify playlist or anything?
Acevedos.
I like KLAQ. I like the DJs.
Just
Yeah.
put Kiss,
I like their
Monica.
vibe.
You like the
Monica
vibe
from
of
Kiss.
KLAQ?
Yeah, if I didn't like their DJs or something, I'd change it.
Do you ever like sometimes does it frustrate you that there's only one like rock station?
Classic
here?
rock?
Yeah, classic
Well,
rock.
not
here in El
classic
Paso.
because the Fox plays classic rock.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, the Fox.
but where do you see? I always heard this criticism about KLAQ, like, they play the same stuff. We really don't all the time. We play the newer stuff, and then we still try to play the old, like the classic.
Yeah.
But it's because you're trying to reach out because there's no market here.
Yeah.
There's no other station that plays new rock at all. So we're the only ones. And the new rock compared to but we still incorporated everything. I thought we were pretty
I think so
legit
too.
across the board.
I think it was balanced.
Yeah.
Dude, yesterday I got in the car and I heard White Zombie. And I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, when has KLAQ played that? Like, I haven't
we-
heard that song in a long
We
time.
played White Zombie.
It just threw me off guard because I was like, holy shit, I like
Maybe because
like,
I would sit. I have hundreds and hundreds of hours of just seeing what was playing, and I'm like, yeah, we played
memorized
White Zombie all the time. At 3 a.m.
It's in the lineup.
Yeah. You know what's crazy when I worked at KLAQ is like there would be times when I needed put in a song to make up for like the 3
Lost
minutes,
time,
5 minutes, whatever it was, and I was like, man, what song should I put on? And it was always like a handful of songs that I would play. We had like thousands of songs, but I would always play the handful, like the same old thing. And then one time I got a call from Glenn, and he's like, Abel, if you need to like put in a song, you gotta call me. And I'm like, oh shit, he doesn't like the songs I'm putting.
You know what's funny is one of the people that used to call me when I first started on air. He would always call me and request Rush. Hey, can you play Rush for me? Hey, Rush. It was freaking Daniel Paulus, and now
shit.
Daniel's there on air.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's really good at what he does. He's so passionate. Is he? not?
Yeah.
He's one of the most passionate radio DJs. He knows so much about music. If there's anyone like follow him, he's awesome, man. He's a good guy. But I just think it's funny that the relationship. I used to have people bring me food. I would be kidding too, by the way. I'd be like, hey, bring me food. Let me know what's up. And like, I'd get a call on the hotline like, hey, I'm outside. I brought you some food. I was like, oh shit, come in the studio. Like, and you had that freedom as a DJ. It was fucking fun, man. Best job I ever had by far. But I mean, it for what it lacks in pay, you get that relationship with people. You're talking to a city of what 600,000. What are we now? El Paso alone, 600,000 in this whole area because we play in Juarez. You're looking at 2 million people, an area of at least 2 million people because we go to Cruces, Alamogordo. Like, damn, man.
I mean, it's a lot of people.
It was the best job I ever had. It was awesome. And then I remember Dave used to call me and he'd be like, hey, man, or leave me a message all the time. Like, he'd send me a message. Hey, we're listening to you here at the brewery. Oh, shit. That's fucking awesome, man.
All right.
I was gonna say, speaking of music, like, is there any kind of ritual you get into when you're brewing? Like, is there music going? Like, you got to get in the zone,
like Rod Stewart or anything.
That's a good one.
Rod Stewart.
I tend to play stuff a little heavier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, who's the band?
Say some Megadeth or some Atreyu.
Damn, Megadeth
Atreyu,
was supposed to come. Yeah, Atreyu came a couple of times to El Paso.
Right on.
Well, not to El Paso, but they performed at Wet n Wild at the things.
Yeah.
At the Balloon Fest.
It's El Paso. Shit.
No, but they were.
There's times like someone comes to Las Cruces, I'm like, yeah, they're gonna be in El Paso. Like, dude, like all this I consider is like, the border. What do they call it? The borderplex.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see El Paso, man.
Megadeth was supposed to come before COVID, right? But they're still lined up to come, I believe, at UTEP once all this blows over. I thought I saw a thing recently.
I was talking to Anthony. When was it, Anthony? Maybe like a month ago, 2 months ago. Anthony bought tickets to go see Rage Against the Machine. And he can't get a refund because technically they haven't canceled.
Yeah.
They just like postponed it.
It's postponed till June of 2021.
Dude, that kind of sucks, man.
Are you a big concert goer?
Not really, no.
No.
August 24th, 2021 is when
Not
Megadeth.
Oh, so see, I told
Tom
you.
Haskins.
So I'm probably not going to be one anymore since I don't work for the radio station. I used to.
Dave, is there anything like, okay, here's a question. If you had to move forward with only one, either food or beer, which one would it be?
Beer.
Beer?
Yeah.
100%, not a second thought.
Yeah, 100%, not a second thought.
Okay. Because I mean, I'm a big foodie. I love food, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all love food.
Oh yeah.
But is there let's move away from beer. Is there a particular dish that you really like? That's my dish right there. You said a tomahawk steak earlier for one of the beers, but is there something that you really, really love to cook?
I like whole animal cooking, and then so say like a whole goat or a whole pig or a whole lamb, and it may sound a little strange, but I could do a lot with that. So I could make like a pig head taco.
Oh damn.
Or a goat head taco, or I could take some of those mixed pig parts and just get a tortilla and just put it in there and just put some
Yeah. Do you think your traveling has influenced you in some of your dishes that you're willing to take the risk? I mean, I shouldn't call it a risk, but willing to experiment. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you grew up in a military family, correct?
Yeah.
And you were traveling quite a bit, so you were able. What are some of the places you've been able to travel to?
I went up and down the East Coast, from say Boston to Key West. So Key West had some things. I'm not saying they so much influenced me as in I have to make their cuisine, but some of the flavors, like in Key West and South Florida, you see a lot of black beans, or say like a coconut. I seen somebody just take out a drill right there, drill a hole, put a straw in, and say, there's your drink.
Yeah.
And say black beans and pork. I make that now because of my experience over there. So I make maybe some spicy black beans and some pulled pork, say like a pork shoulder or something, and in a crock pot.
Yeah.
And then say a key lime pie. I really had a lot of that in South Florida. So the key lime, had it before, but it really grew on me over there.
Yeah.
And just different things. The South is all fried chicken, man. I don't want to say all fried chicken, but that's one of the things that I love so much about the South is, say, like cornbread and fried chicken. So
Yeah.
I love to make that. There's
Oh,
Ray.
nice. All right.
What's going
All
on,
right.
man?
So Ray just came into the studio. Do you want to take a break, Anthony?
Yeah, let's
and
do
then,
that.
And then we'll bring in Ray. And then, yeah, let's take a break. Let's do that.
The more you talk, shows the less you know. I can't afford to take the backseat and let you control the show. Oh no. Oh, whoa. Oh, wow. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. Oh, wow.
All right, guys, we're back from our little break. I hope you guys enjoyed that song. That was a song from Anthony back in the day. That was your high school band, right?
Yeah.
Your little garage
Surrender.
band? Surrender.
It was like 2004, 2003.
Who are some of those guys that you played with? And what are they doing now?
Oh shit! You're gonna go down this rabbit hole. Our drummer was Michael Stauffer. He's my age. He's a buddy of mine. I went to school with him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's up to now. He's a manager somewhere.
Okay.
And then our
a manager.
guitarist was Patrick Stauffer, which was his little brother, and he's a doctor now.
Oh,
he's got a
shit.
doctorate. Yeah, so he's a,
Good for him.
right. 8 years later.
What kind of doctor?
I'm not sure.
Like, do you ever go up to him and you're like, "Hey, man, I got this mark on my
Can I send you a picture? Can
my arm clicks every now and then.
I got this rash.
I got this rash. Is this normal? Right?
Yeah,
I got 3 testicles.
All right, so we went to break. We got another guy in studio.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's still not Pat. Pat is still not
MIA.
on the show. We have a guy named Ray. Not Crazy Ray. We were talking about a Crazy Ray. But Peter, you want to bring him in?
Yeah, we got Ray Arreola, but you go by Ray Monroe. You have different aliases.
Well, yeah, it depends who's looking for me.
Who do we have today?
Yeah.
What do we got?
Today,
We
this
got
is-
Ray
this is,
Raymond.
today it'll be Raymond Arreola if you want
Arreola.
the full
Okay.
the full
Oh,
one.
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming.
No, yeah, thanks for coming.
You know, we kind of just parade the people we know, radio industry, brewers. We just kind of reach out to everybody we know, which surprisingly, we know a lot of fucking people.
yeah.
I was gonna say beer and radio, man. This can't end well.
What?
You know, we had Super Mario, who's a coworker.
Yeah.
And man, he fucking threw a curveball at us.
He got Peter super drunk.
No way.
Oh,
Well, I say Peter. He actually got all of us super drunk.
Anthony was running the board. Didn't know.
Yeah.
Headphones weren't working.
I was like this.
What,
Lights were flickering.
Did he bring? Let me guess. Did he bring his tequila from home?
He brought
Yeah,
all.
yes.
He brought
Oh, he
like
brought-
3 bottles.
Yeah.
Peanut butter whiskey and
Tequila.
tequila.
He's I love Super Mario, man.
He's
but
a generous
I would
guy.
definitely
Awesome
put him in the connoisseur category.
He's
Awesome.
generous, but it's like you have a little asterisk next to his name. Like, should I invite him?
Yeah, back in my days, I've got a couple stories with Super Mario.
So we were talking about radio. We were talking about the radio industry and the community. You know, there's obviously like a beer community. There's a radio community. And when I started working at the radio station, you guys used to always take me to King's X all the time. Like, dude, and somebody end the shift, we're going to King's X. Let's go. Whatever. And we just hung out at King's X, had fun.
Yeah.
But the music was one of the big things. Ray's performed there many times.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you go play over there. But another place you've played is with Dave.
Yeah, Sun
yeah,
Brewing,
yeah,
man.
a lot.
Oh yeah.
Sun
That,
Brewing.
not only with the Third Edge, which I'm sure we're gonna get into the into the Third Edge being in Dave's beer book. cooking book, but also as the solo stuff that I guess I'll be doing a little bit later. So yeah, thanks. Actually, thank you, Dave, for supporting local music, because not a whole lot of bars do this, and Taylor and Ted over at the X2, they're big supporters of the local scene. So, thank you for everything that you've done throughout the years, not only for us, but bands like the Nobodies and a ton of other people that have performed over at Sun Brewing.
Yeah, and thank you too.
You know what's funny is Dave pairs beer with food, and I pair guest with other guests. Like they'll compliment each other.
We got this going. This was very, very, this is very cool, man.
Because you guys do know each other. Yeah. Obviously, Dave was saying he used to listen to us, or he still does listen on air, and it was awesome that he would always call or send me a message and, hey, we're listening to you, and it means a lot. And you've been in radio for forever, I think, since you were 5 or something. But, and how does it feel? Like, obviously, it's always a good feeling to be heard, including your music, but just being on air. I was saying how this community with Las Cruces, Alamogordo, our listening area, you're exposed to about 2 million plus people.
Yeah, and you're just talking about what's going on north of the the
border,
man. You got 2 million just across the other way.
Yeah, in Juarez. So.
And when I was on the air, you'd get the emails and the calls from people in Juarez. People in Juarez also listen to the radio.
Oh, they told me not to answer those because because it was a international call.
Well,
the station
they weren't calling.
That's coming out of your paycheck. That's coming out of your paycheck. Yeah. Not really.
But it's
Dave calling from Juarez. Like,
hey, you were probably in Juarez.
He's like, I have to go to work. Can someone?
Dave was telling us he lived in Juarez, and he used to tell his boss that he was crossing a bridge, and his boss looked at him like, man, all right,
sure you are.
Right. Crazy, man.
Lupita used that same excuse.
Right.
But no, man, we're glad that both of you are on.
Thank you.
Anthony,
Thank you.
Do I sound weird?
Nah.
Is it because I'm not talking into the mic?
Yeah, I'm doing
so many years in radio. I still don't know how to work a mic or anything.
So, Ray, can you believe that Peter doesn't know how to speak into the mic?
I find that a little hard to believe. You've been in front of a mic. I think at least a couple times before today, right?
8 years. 8 years it was.
8 years, Pete?
8 years at the Q and a year at the college radio station.
Nice. How'd you get into radio, Ray?
You know
He's
what?
a grandfather.
I know, dude. Dude, I'm like, I'll say it. I'm 46. All right. I started in radio when I was 19.
Damn.
So I'm probably one of the few people that can genuinely say I put a record on a record player.
Steve Crosno over here.
That. Yeah, no, seriously. But the reason why I was able to do that, though, because even by the time that I started, this was what, 93.
He played World of Worlds.
Right. Yeah.
He's like,
that's good.
This is Ray Monroe, and you're listening to Michael Jackson's latest hit.
Yeah, I was random, standing by guy or whatever on the thing. But anyway, so basically, what happened to me was it was actually kind of funny. I was going to college, and KXCR, which is K-Love now. Was a jazz radio station. It was a public radio station, and they had basically a deal on where it's like, hey, if you want to be a jock, we'll train you. Just sign up, right? But the way that they would do it was they would start you off with like, okay, then I need you here at midnight Saturday, meaning Friday night, midnight. You know what I mean? So they put you at these random shifts to make sure that you were wanting to do what they want you to do. Yeah. And so after about a month of doing these midnight to 4s and midnight to 6s, they just kind of gave you a random shift at KXCR. So I was playing. It actually turned me on to a lot more jazz than I ever thought that I'd ever get turned on to. But yeah, that's basically what happened. And then from there, it was. A job position became available at KTSM. Monica from KISS now, she was working at KTSM. We were both, 19 years old, at the time. And she's like, hey, well, they're hiring, at KTSM, and next thing you know, I'm still doing the same thing.
What were
He
you
never
doing?
left.
What were you doing at KTSM? Because I mean, the public knows you as a radio personality, but what were you doing at KTSM?
At KTSM, it was I basically did everything, man. I started out as just setting up remotes for Sunny at the time. If I remember correctly, it was continuous soft favorites or continuous soft hits 99.9 at the time. So I was doing I was basically setting up the remotes and doing all that, and then from there this is the joke, I was promoted to board hopping midnight to 6 a.m.
Oh wow!
Monday through Friday.
That was a promotion.
That was my promotion.
Jeez.
So,
That's how it
but
started.
here's the thing. There was it was a way different thing than the overnights tonight. I mean, this was an AM station, so you literally, we would air Don Imus, right? It came from the East Coast,
Yeah.
right? Well, we aired Don Imus 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., right? But it's from the East Coast, so it was actually on 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. our time. So you had to physically record it on the reel, and then at 6 a.m. play back the 4 o'clock hour. So it wasn't literally just sitting around making sure that you're still on the air.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't
and
falling
everything's cool.
asleep
What I
and
mean?
waking up at 4.
So it kept things a lot more interesting, I think.
You know what's funny is we had Mondo on the show, Mondo the Monster on the show, and he was talking about how he got into radio. At first, he was doing the Howard Stern show, and unfortunately, you were doing Don Imus.
Yeah, basically.
Listening to
yeah.
How many times?
But I was listening to Howard Stern. No, as a matter of fact, here's a funny story. When I was working the overnights at KTSM, you will understand what I'm talking about. KLAQ is the emergency broadcast system lead radio station. So basically, KLAQ gets the alert, and then they send it out to all the other radio stations. Well, that's been since the 90s or before that. Well, so I'm working the overnights, right? And because of this, we had KLAQ hardwired where you could just hit the Q button on the board and you'd be listening to KLAQ. Well, I've been listening to KLAQ since I was 13. So to me, I was like, hey, this is great. I can listen to KLAQ while I'm listening to Don Imus. So anyway, I won on one of the overnights that I was working, I won to go check out the Scorpions at a sound check when they were coming. So I'm working at KTSM, listening to KLAQ, and I won a contest on KLAQ to go check out the Scorpions sound check. And then at the Scorpions sound check, won tickets to the actual show.
Wow.
So it was so I love radio, man. I mean, it's changed dramatically. I mean, it's not what it was, when we were kids. I was one of the guys with the cassette player, with the cassette and the cassette player and the play record, catching the, your favorite songs, with the damn DJ fucking it all up because they talked over the intro.
That sounds like Peter, man.
I mean, I fucked it up and we didn't even have. I still fucked it up somewhere.
Right. But
I would get calls in the middle of the night like, hey, we've been off air for like 40 minutes. What are you doing? Shit.
Well, like,
I'm getting a Juarez dog outside.
It's funny that they talk
King
about eating a Juarez dog outside. You know what Joseph and I were talking about at the remote just before this was, how many times did you lock yourself outside of the building?
Oh my God. I literally had to call
right?
anyone that was like, hey, man.
You call Daver, you call Mario, anybody that'll answer at 3 a.m.
My key's not working.
Right. Well, it's not working because it's not in your pocket. Yeah,
I'm calling from King's X.
Right.
well, it was funny because the first time when I got hired there at the station, one of the first things that Monica told me, she said, if you're going to go outside for like a cigarette break or whatever, make sure you take your keys with you.
Yeah.
And don't put the rock on the door because cats will go in. So I was like always checking my pockets just to make sure I had my keys because the last thing I wanted to do was go to my car for whatever reason and then like be locked out.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Fun times.
Happens and happened to the best of us, man.
When you first saw Peter, was there any advice you wanted to give him?
I know the first thing you ever told me.
What did I tell you? Get the fuck out of this business.
No, I'm not, no. He was that was one thing, but the next one was, and this is true. He said, "Dude, you need to calm down," because I guess when I first did my first demo, and I was like, no, and then he was like, "Dude, calm down. Smoke a joint or take a shot." That's what he said. He literally said that.
Yeah,
He said, "Smoke a joint
I probably
or
did
take a
say
shot."
that.
Take
I
a chill
probably
pill.
did say that, yeah.
And then go on there. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, you're one of the rarities that doesn't need coffee before you crack the mic open.
Hey, you got to play to your audience, right? I mean, they're drunk or it's
Yeah.
like, you got to.
And I would like the way I talk on a podcast is totally different because it's more conversation. But when I would go on for air, I would change my voice, and people would be like, "That's not you, dude. That's not you." My mom would say, "That's not you on air,"
Right.
Because I'd be like, "It is El Paso's best rock 95.5." And they'd be like, "Who the fuck is that?"
You know what's
Like,
funny?
somehow I just fucking hit my head and I just started
Yeah.
talking.
It's crazy because you know I do a lot of production.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of commercials and all that sort of good stuff.
But you have a naturally
Yeah.
sexy voice. I have this hideous voice that is terrible normally.
It sounds-
It's
sound
funny
fine.
because as soon as he came on,
It made
like,
it better.
Yeah, I was like, "Holy shit, dude!"
No
Ryan-
offense, Dave. No offense, Dave. But Ray came in and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, we're
Leave it to the radio guy.
Hey,
Yeah.
I had to change my voice. Oh, here goes. Today we're gonna do this.
Dude, sometimes I feel like, why am I even hosting the show? Because Peter has a better voice. Anthony has a really good voice.
Anthony has a good voice.
Anthony, talk.
He starts
No.
talking.
Let Ray.
It's too deep.
He's got a good voice.
I don't think it's too deep. Has ever been a problem
No.
with
Yeah.
radio.
But I
or
think one
audio
thing that people
in
told me
general.
that it's not the voice, it's the personality
Yeah.
behind
Yeah,
it.
and yours is unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Yeah.
See, he heard me talking for like 45 minutes, and he's like, "Yeah, and yours."
He doesn't shut the fuck up.
He still directs it to Peter because he's like, "This guy is fucking annoying over here." But Peter's, it's unique.
Why are you hosting this show?
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
I don't know. I love radio. I really do.
I think when we started the podcast, Peter's like, "Yeah, let's do it," and then fucking Peter just sat there and waited for me to start. So I was
We're all
like,
waiting
Well,
for you.
no, it's because all right. True story. How this podcast started. We would come to Anthony's and watch football, and Pat. He's not here today, but Pat used to tell us. Well, you know Danny Espelin, right?
Yeah.
So that's Pat's dad.
Okay.
So Pat was saying, "Hey
God,
man, I want to be."
How old are we all here?
I
bro?
know.
I'm like, yeah, I am the grandpa here. Got it.
You are. You are right. Well, you guys went to high school together, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah. That it seems like so long
Back
ago.
in my
Well,
day,
I wanna-
we're
Back in
recording
my
this
day.
show too. Like it's gonna be archived and our grandchildren could hear it. So, like, I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah.
But no, going back to like this, I don't even know what the hell I was saying. See, podcast, you can mess up all the time.
You're talking,
It's all good.
you were talking about how you believe it started.
Oh yeah, so we were here, and
Right.
Pat was saying he wanted to do a podcast, and so Abel wasn't here for whatever reason, but I was like, yeah, well, Abel and I have been talking about doing a podcast too, because we've been in other podcasts before, and so we were saying, well, we should just do it, right? Well, equipment obviously is a big thing, you know that, like brewing and music, you got to have the equipment to kind of follow a
Correct.
passion. But it turned out we had lavalier mics. Literally, we would share lavalier mic.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah,
With
I
a
was
hanger.
Like, I was like, that's pretty fancy.
we
You
have
know,
a
what are you
hanger,
complaining about?
a hanger
Okay.
and a ruler, a paper or a paper clip,
Yeah, you put the lavalier
Or,
mic on the end of it.
a little
Right.
laundry clip.
Okay. Okay.
So the reason this, like, well, on my end, I went to New Mexico State and I was I got my bachelor's in journalism, and I would always have to like interview people.
Right.
And I had a podcast, and sometimes I would do video as well. And I needed lavalier mics, so
Right.
that's what I
That's
found.
what you guys had.
Yeah,
Right.
So I like it. I
And this
just
big fuzzy mic.
yeah, I just
This is the
I
biggest-
had a Rode mic, and it was really nice, but it was one that would go onto my DSLR camera. It wasn't like one for podcasting,
Right.
You know, it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
this big fuzzy mic. So
The big fuzzy mic.
yeah, I had the idea of putting the lavalier mics on hangers because we didn't have like anything to hold them. So I'd put them on hangers and we would just go back and forth.
We have this
With
one
the hanger.
episode where we were out on a patio at my mom's house.
Yeah.
And we were outside drinking beers. And all you hear the whole fucking thing is the crickets. No. It was the whole fucking episode, just crickets. Whoever heard those episodes probably fell asleep. Fucking frustrated as shit.
Well, that's how I kind of came in because I'd listened to their podcast and I was like, dude, that last episode, like, crickets, like,
You're like, I can help you out.
Yeah, Anthony was a godsend. Like,
He's
for
like,
reals.
I didn't hear what Peter said, but that cricket had a lot to say.
Yeah, I kind of agree with the cricket here. Boring. But no, Anthony was like a godsend, man. He welcomed. It was one time here. You welcomed us in. We recorded. We had fun, and then we started talking. Like, damn, Anthony likes this. He's all, you know.
Why not? Just
Yeah,
do it,
it's kind of like entering someone into a band. Like, hey,
right.
I mean,
Well, I mean, you guys got a hell of a setup here.
well, dude, Anthony.
yeah, like
God
straight
sent-
up,
Well,
dude.
No, so Anthony, tell Ray how you got a lot of the stuff that's in this bar.
how did I get it?
Yeah.
Amazon, man. This should be like Amazon sponsorship in here.
No, but as well as like the cool shit. Like, I mean, the mics
lights,
are great.
the lights, the bar stools.
Yeah, the bar stools,
Yeah,
the tables.
So most of this came from Cano's bar. I don't know if you've ever been
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah, my grandfather was running that bar for a little while, and
Right.
Ray's like, I thought I
Yeah,
recognized this.
it's right here.
Yeah, look at Ray's name.
It's like I did have a life before 2017. Just throwing it out there, bro.
Dude, it's all carved in. It's like Ray was here, and then it says like, if you're looking for a good time, call Ray.
That's my old number, by the way.
Gotta update.
You gotta update
I'm over
the
here
number.
texting it.
And then it's like Jimmy sucks balls on this one.
but yeah, no. So he kind of gave up on it, and just with all the COVID times, it's just tough,
Yeah,
you know.
no
And
kidding, man.
so yeah, he sold it all to me.
Right on.
Even the pool table. I got the pool table from Cano's bar. It's in the driveway in the parking garage because it doesn't fit in here.
It was either
Right on.
either the drums or the pool table.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I'm glad you went with the drums.
yeah. I can't leave the drums out there in the driveway.
Right.
It gets stolen. But yeah, and then I just kind of went a little haywire with the stage and the lights and all the stuff.
Yeah, it looks good, man, and definitely
Yeah.
it's very COVID proof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
actually, the county judge came in earlier and he said he's gonna have to close us
He's
down.
gonna have to close you guys down. Well, I don't know. Did he consult with the mayor first? Or?
No.
Or is this gonna
Still
turn into one
pending.
of
It's
those
still
too?
pending. Along with the election results.
yeah.
Good times.
Hey,
man. Good times.
so we were talking with Dave about like community. Like his beers are obviously culture based. I would say, right, Dave? Like there's a big influence of culture and community, and then bringing Ray in, who literally grew up. Three
Four houses down?
Yeah, 4 houses down.
Yeah.
We grew up across the street.
I think what Peter's trying to ask is your music based on getting woken
Well,
up
I wasn't going
on-
to ask that, but that's a good question.
No, is your music? Well, I was
But
just,
please keep going.
no. I was gonna ask a stupid. I was gonna say something stupid.
ventriloquist.
No, I was gonna say something stupid. You ruined my joke. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say it anymore. Fucking Peter.
Now you leave us all in
Fucking
suspense.
No, well,
You know what the weirdest thing is, man? Is that I've got the headphones on. There's a mic in front of me, and I saying the word "puck" is just kind of fucking with me. Man. It was one of those like I'm sitting here and I'm thinking I'm on the radio basically.
Yeah.
And then I start hearing the F-bombs dropping down, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on here.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know
don't
my
get it.
voca-
Don't mix it up when you go back to work.
Well, no.
I'm here at a fucking dealership right now, and they're fucking good prices.
God fucking damn it, man.
You gotta get
Let
the
me
fuck
tell you
over here
about
now.
this fucking Nissan, bro.
Yeah, you can drop all the fucks you want.
Yeah, it's
Mondo did the same thing. Mondo was the
I'm
same
sure.
way.
It's because you
Like-
guys are professionals.
yeah, Mondo was so professional when we were talking. We are like fuck, F bomb everywhere.
He's like,
and then
you don't
Mondo
have to cuss so much.
Yeah, Mondo was like, hey, calm down. Calm down.
And we work with Mondo when we were doing the high school football.
Right.
So he was always. I always felt like Mando was worried that we were always gonna drop like, oh, he fucking caught the ball.
I don't believe what I just saw. The fucking kid caught the ball.
You know, well, but see, on that same note, you know me outside of the station, so I've got the worst fucking language like ever. But something happens when the headphones come on and there's a microphone.
So right now you're fucking mind
so
confused.
like, right now, I mean, this is like, yeah, this is a little weird, man, to say the least. But it's cool. It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah.
It all works out, man. I don't know. Hey, so since we got you two, how do you guys really know each other? Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's go full circle on here.
You know what?
I don't remember.
Dude, here's
those
no,
Russian,
no,
the Russian archangel.
Look, here's the thing. I remember. I don't know why, or I think I must have just seen Sun Brewing on Facebook or something. Because here's the thing: when I first met Dave, I was living right off of Artcraft. All right.
Okay.
So in my, I think I just saw maybe one of your posts on Facebook or something. I went down and we started talking, and that was basically it. But what I'm getting at is, at the time, what year did you open?
2014.
14?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say it must have been about 14, 15, more or less. So I went down, and at the time, you know, I keep in mind, I used to drink. Like, there's a reason why I quit. You know what I mean? But the thing is that I went to Sun Brewing, and the first time that I went down there, I had 4 beers. And I got up after the 4th beer to leave, and I was like, "Son of a bitch! I'm glad I'm 3 blocks away."
Damn you, Dave!
but basically, I mean, you know, I literally, I think we just started talking, and here we are now. You know?
Wait a minute. That's a lie then, because Dave said nobody drank more than 4 beers,
know,
and then
Dave.
he said that to Peter,
Well,
and it turns out Ray drank more than 4 beers.
This was a different beer.
But literally, what I'm saying is, I drank 4 beers and left. And
I
those
think
4 beers was like,
I think Dave just tells that to everyone to make them feel good. Like, yeah, I drank 4 of Dave's beers. Nobody's ever done that bore.
okay.
Alien piss is strong, man.
Yeah.
That's
It was, and it was, this was, I still got I still got the gray, I also got the gray bottle, man, the gray metal bottle from Alien Piss. Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, I'm telling you,
You know, this is something Abel and I wanted to do with the podcast. It's called The Middle's Open, because we leave a lot for discussion. We try to get this side, that side, anyone that wants to come, just talk. And this episode's kind of interesting because we have a brewer, and then we have someone who's recovering. I'm not trying to call you out.
No.
Recovering.
I'm not trying to call you an alcoholic, but well,
no.
I am.
But you mentioned it.
All right.
You mentioned it yourself.
No.
And yet we're in the same room. We're having conversations, and we could all laugh. Like, you know, it's just bringing the differences of people and just trying to get different personalities, I guess. But it was just fun. Like, I really thought it'd be a good pair to have you guys, 'cause you guys do have history.
He's like, I really thought it'd be a good idea to have you guys.
I felt bad.
Dave's over here like, fuck. I didn't want to be on this episode.
Yeah, man. This is
Dave's over here drinking 3 beers at once.
I know. Right? This is a bad pairing. Suck at this, Dave. You suck at pairing people.
suck at pairing people.
You should make a non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, I've been working on one, and I do make them sometimes. Tepache is one of them, but it's not a beer. But I make that non-alcoholic, and then I do have a
Do
non-alcoholic.
you drink that? Do you drink non-alcoholic?
No.
Don't even go there, huh?
Nah, don't even go there.
Yeah.
I you know.
Better safe than sorry.
Here's and nothing against it. Hey, if you enjoy an alcohol-free beer, that's cool. You know, I mean, that nothing wrong with it. But my whole thing was, before I actually quit drinking, I actually attempted I'm just going to get a 6-pack of O'Doul's. 6-pack of O'Doul's costs more than a regular 6-pack, first of all.
Yeah.
And then after the 6-pack, you're bloated. And you feel exactly like you did when you started drinking. So, yeah, no. I was actually going to make a joke. I'm like, so I'm just thinking that if Dave's making non-alcoholic beer, it's probably going to be a normal beer then, right?
I was thinking more along the lines for grandpa with diabetes or something.
Yeah. Oh, you know,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, there's a, yeah, I mean,
God.
yeah, I mean, there's
That's
that
awesome.
side too. So, but yeah, no, I just, I mean, and I know plenty of people that don't drink and will have the occasional non-alcoholic beer. So, I mean, hey, if that floats your boat, then by all means. But for me, didn't really do it for me. You know.
I mean, everybody knows themselves, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean,
You know what my placebo was when I stopped drinking beer was I started drinking club soda. Club soda out of a can, but it had to be out of a can or you know.
That's the worst. That's gross.
no,
You know, it's I guess it's just that
Having the
it's that sensation, that similar sensation. You know,
When-
I mean, it helped me. You know.
When I have no money, I'll drink club soda. Like when I would go to errands and I was like, fuck, I got no money. I have like $3 to my name. And then I would just get club soda and it was free. So I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this shit. And everyone thinks you're drinking something. So I'm like, all right, cool.
and at the same time you're watching like that girl get all plastic.
Got my eyes on you.
You're my club soda. That was old Peter. But no, man, it's
He knows every trick in the book.
So, Dave, you were saying that you have Ray in your book.
Yeah.
But what is it that what part did Ray play?
I made a series of beers to just say tribute to just people that I know, like people in the community, right?
Yeah.
And Ray was one of them. So his first band, way long time ago, was called The Third Edge. So I was thinking about what could I make of beer to give a salute to Ray and his bandmate Sam. So I named it Third Edge after his first band, and then I have a picture of the beer and then a little kind of story. You say, hey, I made this for Ray because Ray always does his music. He's just always doing it because he loves to do it, and that's who he is. And I said, I respect that. So he was an example of, hey man, you don't have to be the Offspring or some of these larger than life bands. I mean, you can be a musician and just do it for the love of playing an instrument.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And unfortunately, that's all that I've ever done it for.
never know, man.
You never know.
well,
You
I
never
mean,
know.
you
But-
do what you love, right? I mean,
Yeah, you know, yeah, and Dave, that means a lot. Thank you for saying that. That's really what it all kind of comes down to, man. I mean, you know, this is wow, it's crazy. So back in '94, I said something that is actually held true to life. We were that was the one time that we did a 6-week tour. We were all over the states. It was a big circle around the states, and we broke down 13 times, man. 13 times over 6 weeks. Got a little old, but we kept going and we kept going. Well, thanks to our parents, you know, we kept going. But we were broken down outside of Bismarck, North Dakota, and we were 12 miles outside of 12 miles outside of Bismarck, or at least what we thought was about 12 miles outside, because well, this is well before GPSs and everything else. It's 94.
yeah.
But we were walking back, and you know, it was me, Sam, Ben from Two Edge, and Steve Stripling, who was on the road with us. He was kind of our roadie, and we were walking back, and of course we were pissed off. You know, I mean, you're fucking broken down. You're in Bismarck, North Dakota. You know, and you're walking back toward the truck stop that you just left because you know.
Yeah.
But when we were walking back, it was one of those, like, if there's ever been a moment where you really sit down and you're like, fuck this, that was one of those moments, you know, where it's like, fuck this, I'm fucking done, this is bullshit. I mean, it was a rough 6 weeks, but 6 weeks that I would never ever trade back for anything. But when we were walking back, I was like, you know what? I'm like, we're broken down right now, but we're gonna get to play. Like this is literally the definition of temporary, you know. So I said, I'm like, if I have my way, I'm like, I'm gonna be 50 years old and still playing in a band. So when that happened, I didn't know what was coming up, man. I was 19 years old. I was the one kid underage on that tour, and the first time that I ever really experienced what drinking was. Yeah. So anyway, that day, you know, at whatever years old, you know, it was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. In other words, I'm not doing this for anything else but really me. Yeah. At the end of the day, you know, and that's kind of always been my attitude. It's like, hey, look, if you like what you hear, hey, fucking great, you know, but if you don't, well, I'm sorry, but it's not gonna make me stop. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where and I don't and I'm not saying that I'm anything special here. I think that 99% of musicians kind of feel the same way. It's like, hey, if I can make a living doing this, well, fucking hey, that would be awesome. But yeah, so would winning the lottery.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't think that's just with musicians. Obviously, like
yeah, or artists, or
yeah. We do our podcast.
Exactly.
People hate our podcast,
but you know what? But yeah, you're right. It's definitely something that translates to many. You know, to basically anybody and a craft. Really, at the end of the day, you know.
I think what's cool is the journey and the adversity that you have to overcome. Because if it was so easy, like
everybody,
I mean, what would you prefer to like have the struggles and then one day make it, or win the lottery and then just have nothing to say like how you got the money? Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess I was probably not the best, you know. But yeah, but exactly, you know, it's, you know, it's one of those things where it's rewarding enough for me as it is that I keep doing it. So, you know, I mean, I feel very fortunate that, you know, that wasn't the only thing that I was able to do in order to earn a living, in other words, you know. Radio's been pretty good to me in that department. So it's kind of, it kind of balances it all out in my head. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't. It also kind of helps that I don't have to do it for money, because I think it would also make it probably a lot less fun than it is doing it the way that I'm doing it now. So, and I know that Dave. I mean, I know you paid your dues. You know, getting to where you're at now. So I mean, this literally, it goes for anybody trying to do anything. You know, the only thing you can do is keep doing it. Hopefully you're doing it because you love it, and hopefully that will turn into something, you know, at some point.
Yeah.
And even but even if it doesn't, then, you know, if it doesn't, like, don't kill yourself over it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's not really why you were doing it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like going back to this podcast. Peter and I we've been doing this for almost a year and a half now. And even before this, we were on another podcast. We never got paid for any of the stuff that we did. We just like talking to us, and
we like meeting people. And
yeah, we like
brains.
We like hearing stories. Like, I like Dave's story. I like your story. I've liked the guests that we've had. I mean, we can talk about so many different subjects and topics. It's just cool and interesting. And then who gets to, you know, sit in a room, have a couple of brewskis with their buddies, and you know, and just like
and just talk shit
and just talk shit
and listen to music. We have people play music.
Right,
we have people.
Like it's just a fucking good time.
My fiance always says it's a clubhouse. She goes, "Hey, you're going to the clubhouse."
Yeah.
I'll accept it.
Why not?
Well, it's just crazy. Like we kind of talked about this a couple episodes ago, that like we all grew up in this neighborhood, and I grew up in this house. And so these guys, I mean, they've been around this house since we were young, you know, and we used to hang out in this room. There used to be a pool table, and we would just play pool, hang out in here. And it's like fast forward 25 years later, we're
And
in
this
here
is
doing a
what's going on.
And we're
podcast.
still doing the same thing, like
Right.
in this room.
It's just crazy.
We
awesome.
used to play pool and smoke cigarette buds that his grandma would throw on the floor.
Whoa. Easy there. Mom, that's not true.
That's not true. Yeah, man. It's good to be back in the old neighborhood, man.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Your parents are still here?
Yeah, man. I'm literally Well, as soon as I'm done here, you gotta stop by and say hi. I mean, I'm not gonna just drive by now.
What is one of your best memories here in the neighborhood? Because I mean, we talk about this all the time. Like, we have a lot of memories and just great times growing up here.
Well, hold on. I wanted to ask him a question first,
Yeah, go
and it's
for it.
kind of related to that.
Okay.
Because I asked my mom. You probably don't know my mom. She's a little bit younger than Danny. I
Okay.
think you went to school with my uncle Danny.
Yeah.
And I asked my mom. I was like, "Hey, do you know Ray? He used to live in this neighborhood." And my mom was like, "Yeah, I know of him. You know, like she didn't really know you."
Right.
And I was kind of like, what the heck?
I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, what the heck?
It was a
people know
story
of
they
me
would
too,
tell.
bro.
They would tell girls in the neighborhood, "Be careful for Ray. He'll
I've
sneak
heard
up
of
behind you."
Right? Damn.
But no, she was telling me that you'd probably been here for a party that my uncle threw probably.
You know what?
And I didn't know if you
Probably.
remembered.
Yeah. I look. It's man. I'm telling you, going back to I think this will all kind of relate. When you said favorite memory in the neighborhood, all right. When I found out that Keystone was what Keystone was, do you have any idea how much beer and shit happened out there before it was a national treasure?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
We used to go out there riding a
dude,
3-wheeler,
I know.
paintballing. It was like the wetlands, Indian landmark.
It was
Exactly.
like, it was like our ghost adventures. We would go out there. We would just hunt for jackrabbits and shit
Yeah,
like that.
So anyway, what I was getting at is, I used to drink a lot.
I used to go to the wall.
So yeah, I'm sure I was probably here. I'm sure I was probably here, man. But you know what? Growing up in this neighborhood, it was great, man. I mean, I know I'm the generation, before you guys, but there was never any issues here. Like I think we talked about this one time. Like I remember, I think I was like 19 years old, and there was a gang in Pacific.
The Pacific Gang.
And I'm not even gonna drop names, all right?
Well, my brother.
But anyway, all that I'm getting at is that
Chris had the belt. Wait, Ray,
The
did
belt
you?
with the CC.
That was the 90s,
Wait,
man.
Ray,
The
did you?
white.
right,
Old
this is
English.
like, come on,
Hey,
dude.
did you have a belt with your initial on it?
No, I never.
My brother did.
but going talking about this neighborhood, it's like that. The worst that it ever got was that, and then I remember there was like one gunshot that came over in this like by the St. Jude's area. Never heard of the gang again. That was it.
Father Miranda, bro.
Dude, he hated me, man.
I was his altar boy.
Yeah, Father Miranda had no love for me, man. I don't know what it was, dude. But yeah, so yeah, it's St. Jude, I mean, yeah,
He's like, I don't know what
David,
it was, but he's all throwing beer cans at the
that guy-
church.
that guy was-
I don't know why he hated me.
That father was a character. Like, if you didn't go to mass, he was blasting his mass, his sermon through the speakers
could hear it
outside
here.
the church.
That's cool.
He was like, everybody, if you didn't go to church, you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it.
You're gonna hear it.
We went to Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
That's where my mom would take us.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. I did my first communion and confirmation. And,
Our kids had their first communion
Yeah,
together.
dude, that's right.
Oh, I thought Ray was gonna say like, yeah, I did a set at the Kermés.
With the mic.
Hey,
with
you know what? I will tell you a straight up crazy fucking story though. I did play a show at St. Pius across from Bassett Center. when I played in Two Edge, and we opened up for fucking Rancid. Okay, what
the hell?
Yeah,
Shit.
At St.
at
Pius?
St. fucking Pius. Operation Ivy had just broken up, and Rancid had just fucking released their first record, and we're going on the road.
shit.
We opened up for them at St. Pius.
You got to
right?
get that flyer
Yeah.
somewhere.
Dude, you know what?
Gorditas, tamales,
There's
gorditas, enchiladas,
a
and-
group on Facebook, El
Rancid.
Paso Punk Rock Roots.
Oh, I saw
Dude,
that.
have you seen all those flyers popping
They
up?
just tagged you on one.
Yeah, well, dude, there's out of
I
nowhere.
saw it
Like
the other
I
day,
keep
yeah.
seeing all these flyers. It's crazy because I'm gonna go to my mom when I go to my mom's after this, man. I'm gonna see if I can find. Because of course, it's my mom. My mom has the
everything.
the photo book.
The St. Pius.
So let me see if I can find the St. Pius.
It's
flyer.
right behind my recipe of tamales.
Exactly. But yeah, no, that was a crazy show, dude. St. Pius with Rancid.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
If you could find that flyer, dude,
yeah.
that would be awesome. Like,
Right.
Who was the closer? The Francis? What are they? The Friars? The ones that?
Yeah. They had the choir close out the night.
Franciscans.
Yeah, headlined by the St. Pius Youth Choir. But yeah, good times, man. Good times.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Damn.
See, the band I was in high school, they the two brothers, they were in a band with their parents called the Corvettes, and they would play older music, right? 50s, 60s kind of stuff. And so they would kind of tag us along. They would get gigs, and then they would say, "Hey, you guys can play after or open up for us."
Shitty Beatles.
But one time we went to this church. They booked a gig at a church. It was like a kermesse kind of, in Oregon, and they let us open for them, and we played Enter Sandman. Like, we're like, dude, I was like, you really want to play that? They're like, let's play it. I'm like,
You guys do remember? Like, going back to what you're saying. I remember bands at St. Jude's Kermesse, dude.
Yeah.
And I Gabe Gonzalez, if you're watching this, I already posted how I still remember the song that you played. All right.
Oh shit.
Gabe, I've known Gabe for years. He plays in Sparta. He's one of the ones that got way further than some of us. In this business. But yeah, like, dude. Speaking of not only did they have live music, but. I don't know if you guys remember Kermesses. It looked like they were sponsored by Bud Light.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
they had more beer than anything.
But Bud Light flyers, like, I mean, literally, like the Bud Light rep would, like, I'm sure there was a Bud Light rep
I
that
remember
handled
one
the
time
diocese.
I did the ring toss, and I won, and they gave me a Bud Light.
Here's a Bud Light, mijo.
Do you know where that Budweiser light is from?
That's what we won.
That Budweiser.
It was one at the Kermesse.
I was gonna say we decorated this after the kermesse.
Yeah, so hey,
We have Father Miranda's ashes in that hydro flask right there.
But they would have some random bands too, like Los Tigres del Norte, but they wouldn't have Los Tigres. They'd have Los Ojos del Norte.
Dude, the kermesse is cool, man.
Yeah, it was. We always got free gorditas and enchiladas because my grandma was there making them, and she'd like two tickets. Sure. Remember, everything was ticket.
Yeah, tickets. Yeah,
everything was tickets. The rat tickets, dude.
What was your favorite dish there?
Probably. You know what, man? I'm probably gonna go with gorditas.
Yeah,
it's been honestly though, man. It's been so long since I've even been to one, man.
I know.
Because I think Bud Light stopped sponsoring.
Yeah, they're not as fun anymore.
They're not as fun anymore.
Hey, Dave, you
need the seltzer beers.
You have to reach out.
We need to bring in Sun Brewing, dude.
Sponsored by Sun Brewing,
dude. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, fuck yeah.
What would you have? What beer would you introduce at a kermesse if you like?
Alien piss.
I told you, alien piss.
Really good question.
It's like Jesus piss.
Yeah, right.
El sangre de Dios.
Oh, see, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Dude, what was it that I saw on Facebook? They're talking about
Sangre?
they were calling the what is it the wafer?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the
Cheez-Its.
I think Pablo Francisco. No, he was a comedian.
Probably.
Yeah.
When was it?
I saw it on, literally. I saw it on, like somebody posted that.
The other day, my mom was making tamales. Right? Mom was making tamales,
Yeah.
and she was, "Hey, mijo, here, is it good?" She was giving us all a piece. Remember? And then she's like, "Peter, come here." Like I was next. Like she gave it to her, and then I'm like. Remember, you have to put your hand.
It was like the left hand
Left
over.
hand over to right, reach over,
And also with you.
pinky up.
Yeah, and also.
I'm in.
Right.
And then my mom was like, you idiot.
And she's still
I
blessed.
know, she still blessed me.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, there's moms in church, bro. Like, another true story, dude. I got caught ditching school.
Uh-oh.
And then I got caught ditching fucking
Catechism.
my first communion. When I was not catechism. What's it called? Confirmation.
Confirmation, yeah.
class.
Was it Margie?
You had Margie, huh?
Yeah, dude. And all I can tell you is that fucking dude, when my mom caught me ditching,
Did you
church,
ditch and go to the park?
holy shit, no, dude.
That's where I went.
No, he went to the landmark over
See,
here.
but
honestly,
I used to get
it's-
high and then go back to church. And I swear I was like, if Jesus gets off the cross,
If Jesus gets off the cross, I'm leaving. Dude.
I quit.
oh, that's all right. I'm not coming back.
No, you know what I did is I think I just walked around just the desert area. For
40 days and 40 days.
I was a kid, dude. I was probably like looking for fossils or something, dude. You know?
He's like, I'm gonna do something better. I'm just gonna go wander in the desert.
Purification.
Just like Jesus did. you know?
he came back
He
with
saw the Virgin Mary. It's like, she showed herself to him. He's like, oh, wow, nobody's going to believe me. I wasn't in church.
I'm like, nobody believed the other dude either, bro. So,
Hey, today's the day too, man.
oh man, dude, come on! Of all days to be like throwing this around,
I know,
dude.
right?
It's 12/12, dude. National Sound Check Day. 1 2 1 2.
National Soundcheck.
1 2 1 2.
I just
bro.
now got that.
You just now got
I
that.
just now got that.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That was funny.
But that's the thing, man. This
What's wrong with
neighborhood.
you guys?
That's the thing.
You know, I was going straight to heaven, then I made a little fucking detour.
Made a detour over here. You came back to the neighborhood and
Came back to the neighborhood, he fucking ya your madre, güey.
Maybe that's what's wrong. We need to get out of this neighborhood.
We're all talking here, and then Dave's just looking at his ear like, "What the fuck?"
I don't know, man.
Good times.
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Good times.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to
What a day
drive
to
by my
talk about
grandma's
this.
house right now and be like,
Yeah.
oh, look at me.
Well, I mean, the chapel's open, bro. So if you guys want to go down there and
Repent.
say I'm sorry or something,
Light a candle.
light a candle, cost you $1, you know.
Cost you $1.
Go run you a couple bucks.
He already knows he knows the prices and everything. For the little candle, it's 50 cents. For the big one up there, it's
Just got
about
a couple bucks, you
$7.99.
know, and you're good to go.
His
Light a
name's carved in.
I got my own candle.
For a good time, call the updated number.
Hey, or could you bring your own? BYOC.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, man.
Prende la vida.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So, hey, Dave was saying he was going to have a introduction of, when he starts getting things up again. Are you going to play there?
Absolutely, dude. If you'll have me.
Oh, of course, anytime.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I mean, you're what, maybe 5-6 months away?
Yeah, I have a re-grand opening, and we'll get you.
Will the water be out by then? We could do
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Dude,
we could just sit
it'll
in
be
a
June.
tube fishing with our beer cans.
well, it's usually in June,
So, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
around June, right?
Yeah. We'll have our own river event.
Well, yeah, because when we we did the raft race was usually around Father's Day, and that's when water's in the river.
Yeah.
So.
I intend on trying to bring that back, man.
Yeah.
Maybe do a KLAQ Sun Brewing
Dude, that was a lot of fun, man.
Remember
It was a shit ton of work, man, but it was a lot of fun.
Remember you got us those quads?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was the coolest thing Ray ever gave me. By the way. He gave me a quad.
I didn't give you.
Well, I mean, you're a sponsor.
He rode around in a quad
for hours.
You're welcome.
That's all I did. I got paid for it too.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And then Ronson threw me in the river.
Yeah. Dude, R.I.P., dude. Man, I still remember Ronson and Chad and
Jack.
Hey,
Chad,
speaking of Bud Light flags, dude. Remember we had the one of the hardest things was Tecate came on as a sponsor when we did the raft race, and somehow they wanted to get one of those flags, like the ones from the Kermesse.
Put it across the river.
And they were trying to get it across the freaking, across the bridge.
The bridge.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That's not an easy little, that's not easy, bro.
that was.
I'm like, you need to get with the Bud Light guys that used to handle the Kermesse and see how they used to do it. Yeah. Bring those guys down here and have them figure it out for you.
Call Father Miranda and he'll refer you to.
You tie one end of it to a beer and you just toss it across the fucking.
Dude, that was the last time we did the river raft race, and it was funny because I remember a sheriff was going to give us a ticket because we were riding on the street, that one part to go around, and he's like, you can't be on a quad and ride across the street, like the bridge that goes over.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're doing an event, like. Am I supposed to ride in the river?
Yeah.
And it was just dumb.
Yeah.
You gotta jump
And
it.
he was there to provide security, I think, but he was saying he'd give us a ticket.
It was sheriff.
Yeah. It was
So didn't we hire you?
It's like you're off duty, bro. You're off duty. What's your deal?
I'm like, we didn't need the bonus pack with the tickets. Man.
that was a good event. If you could bring that back, Dave, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I'll try to.
Well, dude, I mean, you did. Like, I mean, you've done events on the river already, so I mean,
but they were kind of my own. I didn't have the backing of like you and.
yeah. Well, we'll figure something out.
It's like I had no permit.
You'll have the backing of TMO, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We played.
We can't give you anything, but
We'll be there.
support you.
We'll be there.
We'll bail you out.
I'll give you a 5-star review.
As long as Ray brings a fucking quad for me again.
All right.
What did Peter do? Nothing, man.
Just get him one of them little kid ones, a little 6-volt,
Right.
little tiny.
Anthony, don't fuck this up for me.
Get your little power wheels.
You'll still have fun with that. You'll still have fun with that, Peter.
Hey Ray, so you've been in radio for like 27 years or something like that. What is like
25.
one of the 25? What is one of the best events you've ever been a part of?
Man. You know what? All the street festivals, man.
Because I'll give you mine right now. I was only in radio for like 2.5 years, and my
Which one's yours?
going to Cool Canyon Nights, and then I saw Down a Girl shirt, and that was it. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking amazing.
This is the best.
Because like
That tops everything.
yeah, Monica was like, I'm gonna go get some popcorn and a soda. Do you want anything? And I was like,
No, I'm not moving.
I'll take 2 of those.
And I'm like, no, I'm good. And then like this fine ass girl like walks up, and I was like, you want to sign up for this raffle? And then she's like, okay. And then she like bends over, and I was like, holy cow, those are boobs. And I was
What do
like,
you know?
I was like, that is cool.
Sometimes fate just blesses you.
Yeah.
You're like boobies.
Yeah, I was like, this is cool. I love radio.
I love radio.
So yeah, tell me about your career in radio. Like, well, I saw boobs.
What radio?
and I enjoyed it very much. Yeah, we did. You know what? Actually,
I saw some boobs too.
I did. St. Patrick's Day. No, actually, one of the here's a funny story for you.
Pro Boob podcast.
I had just started at the Q, man. This is like 2004 or something like that, and we did an event. It was it wasn't St. Patty's. I was close. Fat Tuesday.
Okay.
It was a Fat Tuesday event at the Coliseum. I mean, the Civic Center. Yeah. So headlining was Vanilla Ice.
Oh shit.
But this was, remember when Vanilla Ice went metal? Like for, I don't know, 2 weeks or something like that.
Holy shit! No, I didn't.
Yeah, he went metal for like 2 weeks. He like
find
put
that
out a song.
He kind of dressed like Peter too, man.
Damn, that's twice today,
I
Peter.
know. This is the last time I wear a flannel, dude. Like,
So
Flannel with shorts.
so here's the funny part.
I was
So-
trying to legs.
I'm at the queue and I just started there and I'm single and life is great. And there's this chick, very hot chick, with very nice boobs, by the way.
I like where this is going.
And anyway, so
I'm intrigued.
So we're sitting there, we're hanging out, and in my head, I'm like, oh, we're gonna hang out when I get off at midnight. That's what I'm thinking, right? And then she disappears. Apparently, I was cock-blocked by Vanilla Ice himself.
Oh, damn.
So
You got
all I can
iced.
say is,
You got ice.
I got iced by Vanilla Ice himself.
That's a good story.
So yeah, that actually happened.
That is.
That is a true story.
Damn.
Damn.
I mean, if
I'm
there's
okay.
anyone.
If you're gonna get ice,
You're gonna
by
get
anyone.
fucking iced by anyone. I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
Ice Spirit.
So yeah, needless to say, I think I just drank a lot and went home that night. But I'm sure maybe saw some boobs, maybe didn't. I don't know.
You know, we were talking to Mondo, and we were saying how radio has changed, not because of the pandemic, but even before. In the past, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, it's changed dramatically. Like, I remember the morning show when, the Monster was on, and it was just, it was cool, man. It was very similar to the Howard Stern show,
Yeah.
And now it's changed. It's got a little more PC, I guess.
I don't know if I'd go with PC.
I think it's going back to the way it was.
Buzz just dropped some F-bombs just
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Thursday.
I was gonna say, man.
I think it's going back to the way it was. I think they are clicking. I think for a time it was kind of trying to find the roles again because everything changed.
Well,
and
yeah.
you've seen the change more than anyone because you've been there.
Here's the thing. As far as the content, I don't even really want to comment on the content of the show. I mean, the show is what the show is. At the end of the day, the numbers are where they need to be, man. I mean, people are still listening. And here's the thing: the only people that have really just kind of maybe completely gone away is anybody who's a diehard Trump supporter, because that's not Buzz's stance.
Yeah.
And whatever. I listen to both. I joke around that I listen to 690 during the day, and I watch MSNBC. So
that's my dad right there.
That's kind of I draw my own conclusion.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
That's the best.
So anyway, but what I was really getting at, though, is not to get into a political conversation, but the technology just changed everything, man. I mean, and it's and radio's not gonna be immune. We're just one of the last ones to get it. Mm-hmm. The first ones that got it was print. If you were a newspaper, the second that this crazy thing called the interweb came out, you were fucked. I mean, it costs too much fucking money to produce pieces of paper with, when you can just put it up online and, there you go.
Send.
Well, one thing that's funny is I always heard that radio is constant. So it doesn't really fluctuate. It's kind of just there.
This is what I'm getting at.
Now there's the medium that radio has dipped into social media and stuff like that. But the medium of radio, it has always just been constant. Like
Absolutely.
It doesn't grow.
And at the end of this conversation, radio isn't going anywhere, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not going
and
anywhere.
I've always argued that.
So what I'm getting at is, you had this influx in technology that made a lot of things a lot easier to do, and a lot of in ways that we're unable to accomplish before. You could pause television, you can record television, you can watch your show whenever you want to watch it. So my whole thing is, if you can't say that television is dead. No, it's not. Just people aren't worried about being home at 7 p.m. on Thursday to catch their show. They'll just catch it on Thursday whenever they want.
At their convenience.
So radio really was kind of immune to all that stuff because, there's no real reason to unless you're talking about the morning show.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the deal. Even that's got an answer. I mean, they got their YouTube channel. They've got, you know, you can go back and watch their
own
podcast. You know,
podcast, yeah.
I mean, so that's what I'm getting at though, is that radio. This was set to me 15 years ago, and there was not an argument in my head when it was set.
Yeah.
Look, right now you're a radio station. You're a radio station. You got 100,000 fucking watts of power coming off of that fucking antenna on the top of the mountain, man. You. That's who you are, and you got a website.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it 15 years. You're gonna be a fucking website that hopefully has a lot of people, you know, following it with an antenna on the top. It's the roles have been completely reversed. And basically what I would anticipate is going to happen is that the competition for radio is going to be bigger than it is.
Would that be podcasts?
Podcast is definitely one of them. You know, the podcast is basically going to be the answer to it, I think. I mean, in the complete long run of things. But you know, even like when Sirius came out, you know, they were like, "Oh, this is gonna kill radio."
Mm-hmm.
It didn't fucking cause a dent. Yeah. It was like a 0.7% drop in listenership. You know, you've got the music services out there. You've got the Amazons. You've got the Pandoras. Where you spend $10 a month, and man, it makes that Columbia Records deal from when we were fucking kids, where you get, like, you know, so. There's that also. But here's the thing. People have always had music of their own too.
Well, I was going to tell you this. Sometimes people can't make decisions on their own.
There's
like,
also that.
So radio does it.
Yeah, and radio does it. Sometimes I need...
What was
you
that?
know, I need Ray Monroe's recommendation on what
you need
to
Nirvana
listen to.
playing and then go into Korn and then go into fucking White Zombie and then...
Because sometimes I have my playlist and I'm like, this is a song I like, and I'm starting to dislike it. And radio, it's like 3 bad songs and then 1 great song, and then I really appreciate that one song for the 3.5 minutes that it is. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is a bad song.
And see that's the other side. Like, not 100% agreeing with you. You know, there's also the differences in what we're calling radio, man.
Yeah.
You know, where KLAQ and KISS is. You know, besides I think maybe Power 102 and their morning show, who's live? Like this is what I'm talking about. I mean, when radio has changed, you know, that the persona of the DJ, like, you know, it's
well, that was something David and I were talking about, or I had said I used to love working the weekends because people would call me or like they'd send me a message, "Hey man, can you play this?" Hey, and there were times, I don't want to say I got in trouble, but I deviated from the playlist. The playlist.
Yeah.
And it was like, "Hey man, why are you changing things?" Well, so-and-so called, "You're not a request show." Yeah, but that interaction, I like it.
I know.
And
I got shit on too, dude. You know?
So,
but my shit was like, I played Mob Rules from Black Sabbath, dude. Like, I didn't go from I didn't play Iron Man instead of Paranoid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, come on, if you're gonna fucking do the D, do the goddamn D, right?
Yeah, don't half-ass it.
So,
well, remember, Ray, I was getting Juarez dogs outside too. So trying to balance my time here.
In between dogs,
right? Yeah,
in between dogs.
But you know, I mean, radio at the end of the day. You know, we're still doing what we're doing at the Q. You know, we still have, you know, you still have Glenn, you still have Veronica, who are 100% live. You've got Monica on KISS, who's 100% live. You know, you got the morning shows on both stations. These are people that live in the city, and you know, it's one of those deals where, you know, iHeart, you know, they're pumping in a morning show from. Yeah. And here's the thing, I mean, it's got decent numbers. I'm not shitting on them or anything else, but I mean, you got a bunch of guys from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like I mean, seriously.
Yeah, because El Paso's unique. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, going back to...
we want to hear about Dave's Sun Brewing rather than fucking what's going on at...
So the further and further and further away we get from what radio is really supposed to be, I mean, obviously it's going to suffer, but to add to everything else, you know, you can already track, which is going to save a company money. You know, you bring in COVID and the changes that COVID forced upon not only radio, but many industries. The long-term effects of this are going to be, I'm waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, they're implementing
Because-
it. Like, it's going to be something here to stay.
Exactly. And see, and here's the thing. If I'm a business owner, right, and I used to have a warehouse full of cubicles and just for example, a call center.
Yeah.
Why are you going to...
Why are you going to pay a lease?
I think we've all realized you don't
could do
need
it
a
from
building
home.
to answer your phone.
Yeah.
You know, all you need is a computer. And so the long-term effects of what's going to happen with this, I think, is going to be pretty shocking. You know, I think if you take where we're at today and where we're going to be at in 2 years and where we're going to be at in 5 years, 2020 is going to be basically the foundation of everything that we're building up on because, let's face it, a lot of shit fucking crumbled, man. You know, because of that.
Yeah, we talk about it on the show quite a bit, like how we're living in a time of history.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This is like
This
a
is
huge
a time
time.
in history,
This
yeah.
is something that's going to go back into the history books that, you know, kids 100 years down the road, they're going to be learning about and like why everything changed. The same way we see the Great Depression or the Vietnam War or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Kids are going to be learning about this and they're going to be like, oh, that's why there's no more, you know, call centers. That's why there's no more, you know, certain businesses, why they went that direction.
Right.
Like,
Uber
you know,
Eats
this
blew
is-
up. And,
yeah, exactly.
You know, you can't have such a impact on society, you know, socially, financially, mentally, you know, and not expect. People are gonna come out fucking straight up PTSD after this shit, man. And this isn't, you know, we've had this conversation too. I mean, you know, thank you for the service that you did to your, you know, for our country, man. But you know, you can't expect to send kids out to war and then have like no problems when they come back.
Well,
you
it's
know?
kind of like the
this is going to be just as ground shaking to a lot of people.
you talk about PTSD, and it's kind of like the people that lived through the Great Depression. Like, they were no longer putting money into the banks because they
Right.
believed that it was going to crumble, and you know they're
our-
going to
our
lose all that money.
grandparents.
And
Yeah.
like I have my grandfather, he had
his own safe.
he had a safe where he had thousands of dollars, and let's just say it was near 6 digits
Yeah.
in a safe.
Yeah.
And it was like, God damn,
I
like
know.
who does that in a fucking house, you know?
You know, yeah,
Genius.
exactly.
You have
somebody
you have
who,
people
somebody who
bearing
knows,
money.
Yeah.
You have
So-
people bearing money, and like, you know, who's to say that in maybe 5-10 years we're not all wearing masks and shit? Like, I mean, I know
Well,
it's
it's going to be more of a custom courtesy.
Yeah.
When you get sick, you wear a mask.
yeah.
And that was something that was already being done in other countries.
See, that was the part that really kind of fucking blew my mind with this country, dude, and the way that it just kind of literally weaponized this thing called a mask and turned it into a fucking political statement. What the fuck is wrong with you,
Yeah.
man? Like, seriously. It's not fucking brain surgery, man. You know, like if you fucking sneeze on somebody, chances are you're gonna get them sick. So put a fucking mask on. It's not hard, you know. But literally, you know, and then you've got the well, what about my rights, dude? Do you think about your rights when you put the fucking seatbelt on? I don't think you do, right? I mean, because you're gonna get a ticket. So it's. You know, it's funny that we're saying that we're having this conversation because I'm sure everybody here watches Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The best line from so far.
We're
was
gonna
the
get
one,
into our Mandalorian segment right here.
When he said he's like people think they want freedom, but what they want is fucking order. That was the best
That was
fucking line.
That was the last
ever.
episode.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, it's you know, I don't know who's right, who's wrong.
Yeah.
God only fucking knows. But if we don't know, shouldn't you be careful? Yeah. Right?
And what do you think?
mean, hence
Because
the-
you're a business owner yourself.
Yeah.
So like, how do all these things affect you? Obviously, you made changes.
Yeah.
And you were talking about distributing your beer and kind of deviating, or correct me if I'm wrong, but deviating from having people come in, but just getting your beer out there by distributing or or just having a place for them to come pick it up, 6-packs, 4-packs, whatever, and get your beer out.
Yeah, my thoughts were is that when this all first hit in March, I closed down. That was my own little personal decision, and that I would adapt to just nobody could come in my facilities, and I would just give it to them over the fence.
Yeah.
That's the way I've been the whole time until recently. Now I'm completely closed. But I refocused to the beer to go concept, but people could still stay. But I'm still gonna adapt. I'm hoping that it's my hope, but I don't know. But I have hope that we can get back to hopefully, conquering this virus in some capacity. Hopefully it's not here to stay forever. It looks pretty bleak, but I still have hope, and I hope that we can do it. And I hope that there will be a day that we can get back to a sense of normalcy to where it was. If it doesn't, hopefully there'll be new opportunities, which you were talking about, how it's a game changer, and it is a game changer, and how things have changed for good. And, you're talking about call centers and stuff, but I'm hoping that there'll be somebody sees something to bring something new. For example, maybe people just get so sick and tired of automation and the inhumanness of just everything of there's no human element to it.
Yeah, there's no personal touch to it.
Yeah.
Kind of like how you were saying, like me being on radio, like fucking reach out and I could be the dumbass that I am.
Yeah, been to McDonald's lately,
just
yeah.
You want that person to kind of screw up on your order?
Well, it's kind of it's kind of
Right.
it's kind of
You can't
like
blame.
Who are you
You
gonna
can't
yell
blame
at?
a robot, but you can blame. I want someone to yell at. Damn it!
well, it's kind of like how I was talking about radio, and then Ray brought up The Mandalorian. People think they want certain freedoms, like talking about Spotify, Pandora, and
Then
like,
you give them to them, and they don't know what to do, and they go back to
you
it.
have the freedom to choose, but there's so much.
dude, it's one of the things. Like we've joked about it, like. You get on Netflix and you're like, you
spend more time
you
looking
spend more
for
time
something.
I've spent 45 minutes to an hour trying to find a movie, and then at the end of the day, I'm like,
And you just watch Pornhub, and
I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go jerk off.
Oh my god!
Fuck, I'm going to bed, and then I suck on my thumb.
I want to say something that's gonna sound really crazy, man.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay. The most free I ever felt, even though the most free I ever felt was living in Mexico, man.
Really?
And I know that they're not. Well, let's just say, when I would drive a car, I felt like I could drive backwards and nobody's gonna mess with me. I mean,
Nobody's gonna question you as long as.
Hey, what's that car doing coming back? Oh, it's just
If it
David.
doesn't
Don't worry
affect
about
someone
it.
else, they're okay with
like
whatever the
I
hell
could
you
just
do.
live, man.
Yeah, yeah.
He's only got reverse.
And here, I got a traffic ticket from a cop from being recorded on something that was miles down the road. And I'm like, I think you're confusing me with somebody else. He's like, no, we had you on camera and I tracked you down. And I'm like, track me down from where? It's just I didn't come to a complete stop on my motorcycle. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, that's what you call freedom? Like being recorded and analyzed and everything with all this data. I'm like, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but
I hope you don't have a Gmail, because I don't even know what I signed off on the I agree at the bottom, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Facebook too.
I just know I Google something and it pops up on my feed all the time. Like,
Look, do you know what we do? You know what we do at the station too. I mean, we're not just radio. We do digital marketing too, dude. So I mean, it's it's that whole thing with the they're gonna track me with the vaccine. Really, dude? Like, you got a cell phone, right?
Yeah, they're already doing
they're already
that.
tracking you.
I don't know how to break this to you, but
Well, it's like
You know when you go in for your doctor's visit and they put the finger in your butt? They're literally putting something in there.
well, I think it was you that shared a post. Oh shit, maybe like 6 months ago or whatever. It was about people wearing masks, and then like they opened up the mask and there was like a chip and all sorts of things in the mask, and I was like, holy fuck.
yeah, it takes out a hammer from the mask.
Yeah,
yeah.
that shit was funny, man.
But yeah, it's gonna be really interesting what happens. I think with the virus, man. I mean, I'm by no means a expert of diseases or anything like that, but I mean, hopefully the vaccine will kind of get us back to somewhat normal. And thank you, UK, for stepping up.
Volunteering.
and being first on the block.
Well, I was going to ask you. Okay, so if they were like, "Hey, Ray, we got a vaccine for you. You're on the list since you're essential or whatever the fuck." We need people to talk
You're an
to
essential
people.
radio employee. Well, who's going to introduce that Aussie song, man?
Yeah, right.
But if they came up to you and said
That
you're
is
going to be one
essential.
of the first ones, would you do it?
You know what, man?
I would.
You would?
I want to say I wouldn't, but then who the fuck am I kidding, dude?
I mean, say yeah,
seriously,
because
who
I'm
the
not
fuck
going to
am I
have
kidding?
any more kids.
I don't think we're. I genuinely.
If I grew another arm, I'd be okay because I'd be like,
You know,
I could high five more people.
Peter's like, oh, I like this arm.
I think he's like, look,
No hands.
I think it's easy to say I don't trust the government, right? It's really easy to say I don't trust the government, and I don't trust the FDA. But you know, I mean, I think we're at
We're
a
gonna get the
certain
door
place,
kicked in right now.
right?
A radio personality lost faith in the government.
But what I really kind of genuinely see happening, man, is there's gonna have to be some kind of record on who got the vaccine and who didn't. And if you want to basically enjoy simple freedoms, like I want to go to this concert where there's going to be 30,000 people at, or I'm going to fly on an airplane, or fuck it, man, or I'm going to go sit and have dinner at a restaurant. You know, I mean, it's one of those things where,
Like a registry.
yeah, and it's
Let me see your ID.
I think they're gonna die off if they don't take a vaccine.
there's also that. There's also that. But if you also kind of think about this, I mean, and again, just me being what I think is logical, if you get enough of the population inoculated, obviously it's going to cause a lot less cases, which is going to turn into a lot less transmissions. So that vaccine is going to have some kind of a positive impact.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And like I said, I mean, I want to say, oh, I'm not going to take that fucking vaccine. And they're going to be like, well, do you want to come to work? Oh, well, fucking where's the line?
Well, I need a job.
Yeah, you know?
Dave's waiting to hear me on fucking the radio.
Who's going to introduce that next Ozzy song, man? So yeah, so I mean, I really, I don't think it's gonna, I don't think we're really gonna have too big of a choice on whether you take it or not. I mean, is it safe or not? I don't know, man. Do you know what's in your conditioner you put in your hair every day?
Yeah.
Do you know what's in you know in your deodorant
Shit,
that you
McDonald's.
use every day?
Well, like,
McDonald's food.
You know? I'm like, I'm not even gonna talk to you know. You know what's in that blow you just enjoyed? I mean, seriously, dude. You know, I mean,
It's a deductive logic.
yeah, it's you know, I mean,
Well, it's like, how are you going to track the people that got the vaccine? And I brought up this point. Every one of our parents have that little dot on their arm, you know?
I do too, dude.
Oh, well,
so do I.
Well, Ray's old as shit, but
Yeah,
I got in the military. So.
If you have a vaccine, that just means that you're building antibodies, right? That doesn't mean that you don't get it and give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
If I understand correctly.
I have
Alright, so
no
maybe
clue.
I'm wrong.
That's too much science for me. man.
See, I'm just
I gotta
thinking,
see in
I'm
biology.
just thinking.
I got
I'm
an
just
F.
thinking the more people vaccinated, the less cases are going to be out, which is going to be greater.
That is
for
a
the
true
greater
statement. But if all these people that don't get vaccinated and they treat it like no self-isolation, no mask, and you have all these people
Right.
that are vaccinated, that doesn't mean in my opinion, it's just an opinion, they'd still contract it and spread it. So these people that
Yeah.
aren't taking the science seriously are going to get infected. Maybe that one strain may not kill them, but maybe the next, because you can get it over and over again.
Yeah.
One of these
And
times,
see,
their
that's
number's
gonna-
going to be up. It's like Russian roulette.
Yeah, and see, and that's going to be the other question too. Is the way that I have it understood, and I could be wrong, is that this isn't like the shot that they give you when you're born, and they give it to you once for polio, and you're done. Like
Yeah.
I think this is going to be like a flu
the
shot.
flu
Is what
shot.
I'm understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean that's another one. Like, so no, I'm not going to take that fucking vaccine, but maybe next year. I don't know.
Well, as it is, you have to take the vaccine
2
that's
doses.
going out by Pfizer is you have to get 2 shots,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to be stored in like 80 below 80
below 80
degrees.
So hey, man,
Fahrenheit.
and here's the deal: if Pfizer keeps this contract and nobody else comes on board and gets something, I'd start putting money into that dry ice market, bro. 'Cause
Right?
I'm just saying, you know.
The paleta man's gonna be like, God damn, shit.
Damn.
How much for $10 for a
Fucking ice cream man
paleta?
never gonna come anymore.
I know, dude. Fucking. The government's gonna come in and take over all the ice cream trucks.
Yeah, they're gonna be giving out vaccines.
Hey, what if it was administered like orally, like you could drink it? Would you make a vaccine beer?
Oh yeah, man. If I could, shit,
That'd be
I'd
cool,
get so
actually.
much business.
Alien piss already does that.
Yeah, if you drank alien piss, you're immune to coronavirus anyway, bro. So who gives a fuck?
They killed it. Sanitized.
The strength of the piss.
Man. All right, well, we brought Ray in for a reason. He's gonna play for us. And okay, so you came from multiple bands you've played on, like you've told us.
Well, yeah.
Are you a solo act now? You're.
You know what? The Third Edge is still, we're still playing.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen each other since March, really.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing: it's like, as far as bands are concerned, I mean. And it's not just the Third Edge; it's just any bands out there. I mean, there's no place to play, man. So
And that was one reason we kind of started this, because we wanted to bring in musical guests.
Yeah.
And even if it was solo, just giving them an outlet and putting it out there for them.
yeah,
because-
so yeah, man. I thank you for doing that. You know, especially right now. I mean, because
And you can see we take the precautions, like we.
No, I was gonna. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, it's
Wear your mask, Ray. Wear your mask.
I will.
It's kind of bittersweet because we used to record in a different room in the house, and it was a smaller room, and for audio quality, it was way better because not this echo, that you have to deal with. And once COVID hit, like we abandoned that room and we stopped recording for a couple of months, and then we decided, you know what, we're not gonna let this stop us, So we started doing shows outside, and we're all spaced out, and
Anthony's an engineer, as you could tell.
And
Dude,
then-
it's-
engineer
just gonna
this.
put
I'm
some
telling you, man.
cubicles
You guys got it all set up, and yeah.
Look at those
stuff.
lights.
But
man.
that was kind of the mentality behind it. It's just kind of giving musicians an outlet. I know there's not a lot of places to play, but I mean, you have the itch to play. There's a place to play.
Right
we
on.
record it.
Anthony only
Put
charges
it on YouTube?
$3,000.
3,000. No.
No.
I'm like, so how much am I out now?
You'll get the bill later.
I like those.
The surprise bills.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's kind of the idea behind it.
That's gonna be Ray right now.
Damn.
Can't see.
Yeah.
Is that Eddie
Is that
Murphy?
Michael Jackson?
Eddie Murphy, Michael Jackson.
We just say random black.
Hey, in my defense, it's a little hard to see through both of these.
Hey, the other day I was watching The Golden Child. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
What is that?
Eddie Murphy has the iconic like his laugh.
Dude.
Oh, dude.
Dude, those Eddie Murphy films, man. You probably couldn't make those today.
Yeah.
No.
You know?
Couldn't make a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see a 2020 version of Blazing Saddles.
Oh, that's what
right?
I've always said.
we've
That.
always talked about that.
I think if they make it, I think if it's 7 minutes long, I think it would be a success. I would consider it a success anyway.
The opening scene.
That's it.
Dude. Yeah.
All right. How about we close up shop and we listen to some music that Ray's gonna have for us.
I'll jam it. I'll jam it.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
before we close up shop, I wanted to thank Dave for coming down.
Thanks,
Ray,
Fred.
for coming down.
thank
Dave,
you
I
guys,
want to go
man.
over the book again. Where could people find your book?
Walmart, Barnes and Nobles, Amazon. It's a hardback, paperback, ebook. You could online's the best way.
He's international,
I know.
internationally renowned
In
author,
In the house.
David Slocum.
Yeah.
So we got that going down. I'm excited. I was
Hey,
super
and
excited
yeah,
about
and
the
again,
book.
congratulations on that book, man. You know,
Thank you
going
very
back to, I'm not sure if COVID was the reason why you put it out, but it's a good. Everybody could use right now. Could definitely cook at home. It's a good thing.
Reading material.
That book's several years in the making. It's just pure luck.
Well, there you go. The timing is
You need
pretty
a little
good.
luck.
So
That's awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you, Dave, for coming down.
Yes.
Thanks.
And
Thank you.
right now we're gonna go to Ray's
Yeah.
music.
Anthony, any closing thoughts, man?
No, I mean, just like what Peter said, man. Thank you guys for coming. really appreciate it, man. It's been fun, man. We had a lot of good laughs in here.
Yeah, it was a lot of great laughs.
It's definitely fun, man.
Peter, anything?
No, man. Like I said, two good friends, and I'm glad you guys came in today. So thank you.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
All right, Dave,
Cool.
Ray, thank you so much for coming in. Like everyone's been saying, I had a lot of good laughs, and it's nice to have someone from the neighborhood that has like, just shared his little experience and stuff. Because we always get like, people would always comment like, oh, you guys talk about the neighborhood. And then like, we only know it from this generation, like
Right.
the guys in their mid to early 30s. You're like one of the old timers here. and
All right, and I am going to tell you
With
something,
love.
though. But unfortunately, we got to turn this thing off. But I got a crazy fucking story for you guys.
All right. Well, in that note,
About,
let's
about,
get
this,
the hell out of here.
about this neighborhood.
oh, cool. Well,
He's like, I knew this back room.
Yeah.
It looked familiar.
all right. With that said, guys, we're going to close up. This was The Middle's Open.
We make sure that the rain stays black, that the sunshine will never bring back all my thoughts and all my hopes, unchanging inspiration inside us all. Can we still make a sense?
Trying to do a motherfucking podcast in here, shit.